Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Collegiate Esports Commissioners Cup here in Boise, Idaho. The Western Regional Qualifier has been up and running all day long. We've got a great team of people scattered out throughout the building that are ready to bring you all the action of the content. We're going to jump over to the player pit with Septilence and get a hear on what's going on over there.
Hello, everybody. My name is Septilence, and not every great game can happen on stream, so a little bit of them happen here in the player pit. We've got UCLA versus UNLV.
CECC, once again, we are opening this year with the Midwest Qualifier. I am your host, Septilence, and I'm going to be taking y'all through game after game after game today. But of course, we are going to be starting with what might be my personal favorite, Overwatch. Now, folks, we're going to be jumping into a semifinal in just a moment here, but to give you a bit of flavor, a bit of background, a bit of text on what may be going on, the defending champions of the CECC, Maryville University, has already secured a spot in grand finals for this qualifier. Now, who's going to get the chance to go against them? See if their iron can sharpen that iron? Well, that's going to be decided right now. We've got Illini Orange going up against Northwood University. Both these teams very much popularized in the field of collegiate esports. Two teams and programs that we are very familiar with. And Northwood, they tore the CECC up last year, but Overwatch was the one trophy, or one of the trophies, they just could not squeak out. So I know that I am over the moon, unbelievably excited to be jumping into this, but this is not a journey that I will be taking alone. I'm going to be joined by Clutch Key and Chef Billy as we get ready to talk a little bit about what these teams might be bringing to the table and how exactly we think the scales may fall. Clutch, Billy, thank you so much for joining me today. How are you guys doing? How are you feeling to just be back? Collegiate is back, baby. How are you guys feeling?
I feel so excited. Well, I think I can speak for all of us right now that, I mean, for the CECC to be back and better than ever, we got lots of teams here. And I'll tell you what, on the Overwatch side, very exciting in the fact that there's a lot of top-ranked teams here. You're going to be seeing Maryville, Northwood, obviously, coming up next, Illini as well. So there's going to be a lot of good teams coming up here in the CECC. I mean, if Midwest is probably also one of the toughest gauntlets you will see in any of the regions, if you guys will agree with me there. So I'm very excited to see what's going to go on here in the semis and the finals.
And Billy, we love to hear it. We know this is going to be a good matchup, possibly into another one. Maryville versus whichever team can emerge victorious. But between these two, between Illini Orange and Northwood, Billy, who do you think is walking away with this?
I mean, pound for pound, Northwood's going to stomp right now. There's no other way to put it. It's going to be an easy 3-0 for Northwood here, unless Illini have really adapted to these new patch that has dropped just recently with the Zarya coming through and a little bit of the Orisa nerf. So we'll see if they have a good Zarya player. If there's a good Zarya player, it might give the Northwood squad a little bit of a trouble. But I think you're perfectly right, Keegan, in the fact that the Midwest is the strongest, save for maybe the West region because it's so large and encompassing. You got all the California schools out there. You got Boise State. You've got Utah. Lots of talent out there. So I think that Midwest, this is the proving grounds. And I think that you're going to see your eventual next year's 2024 CECC champion come out of this region.
Without a doubt. And Clutch, we can see at the bottom here, all three of us agree. We do think this should be a bit of a Northwood sweep. And as Billy mentioned, it really may fall onto that tank line to decide which way this journey kind of tips. Is that what you're going to be looking out for as well? Do you think it is going to be up to that tank to give one of these teams an advantage toward grand finals?
Yeah, obviously, I think this is going to be, I mean, with the move down from 6v6 to, 5v5, a lot of people always look at the tank side, and a lot of people look to see how much space the tank can make and how much impact that tank can have. What I do want to say, though, is I know Billy said it's going to be a Stomp 3-0. I will tell you behind the scenes, talking with the Illini team as well, Illini Blue, actually, their other team, talked to one of their players. They said they feel like Illini Orange can make a little bit of noise, especially going up against these Northwoods, against these Maryvilles. They feel like maybe 18 on the rankings might be a little low for them, and they feel like they can make some noise, especially with this recent patch. So be aware of what they can bring to the table. I know, obviously, a lot of us have our eyes set on Northwood because they're one of the best in the country. Top 5, obviously, Oka rankings, number 3 currently. But, I mean, you've got plenty of things to look forward to. I think Illini can take a map off of Northwood, in my opinion, knowing that, they're up there. They're up there in the rankings. They're up there, and they can make some noise. I would like to believe so. I think a 3-1 is in the realm of possibility.
They're up there, they're out there, and they are ready to battle, so I'm going to get out of y'all's hair. I'm super excited to see this one fall apart as these teams duke it out for a spot in those grands, but I'll get out of the way for now, and I'll see y'all on the other side.
Thank you very much, Septile and Sen. We say aloha, friends. Welcome inside of the casting booth alongside Chef Billy. And wearing the aloha shirts and all, Klutchke here with you for our CECC semifinals in the Midwest preseason online qualifiers here. And Billy, like we were talking about just now, the Illinois Illini Orange team taking on Northwood. And so for these two teams, I mean, both of these both of these teams looking pretty good, but I guess more or less you could say there's more notable names coming up on the Northwood team.
I mean, because I'm part of Okra, so I get to see a lot behind the scenes, and there's been a lot of talk about Zoolander here for this Illini Orange team. Also, Chapa is on the team, so there may be some points of contention here in the DPS where we may see some moments that may blow our minds. It just depends on what kind of synergy we've got going on right now. We're going to start off, looks like on Legion Gardens.
Yeah, Lijiang Tower is going to be our start here, starting point. No, it's actually going to be Ilios.
Sorry.
It's Ilios, and it's going to be the Lighthouse to start us off. So it will be interesting to see. Starting lineups, by the way, you can see at the top of your screen. Both of these teams, if we go into the action right now, before we do that, both of these teams 5-1 in the Overwatch Collegiate Homecoming right now in Fall 23. Both of them, by the way, have something in common. Both of them losing their only loss to Boise State 3-0. So maybe we'll see some shift in the rankings later on as we get set and we're ready to go here in the Lighthouse and underway already. You can see the combinations pretty different on either side. Tanks, healers, DPS and all. Both of these guys have a little bit different of an opinion, I guess you could say, when it comes to the team compositions. But all in all right now, just kind of poking each other out.
I mean, the long-range poke here for Illini should have gained them a lot of purchase, a lot of good sight lines going into this first engagement. But the fact that Boat can close the distance in combination with Calaman, that's what I'm going to be really looking at here. Plus, you have the ability to go nano, and that's the big one. And big sort of damage drop, but oh my lord, Chopper coming back big.
Chopper comes up big, takes down Bolt, but now Marvel's going to go ahead and revive Arctic Shadow, bringing this up to a 5v4 situation in favor of the Illini. Northwood do have the point to start us off at 12%, and it looks like there's going to be a lot of sticky grenades onto that far. That Mercy's in a whole lot of trouble as well. It's going to get the life gripped away. Sam's got Chopper, and Northwood, though, bringing themselves back to a little more stable than we saw before.
I mean, that's a good early engagement for both sides. Both the teams are getting value out of their picks, so I think that we continue this poke phase until we start seeing the ultimate rotations coming through. Once we see that, that is when we have the go button in. And I mean, look, the Zoolander already has Tree of Life ready to go. It's going to be a duplicate coming out of Sam, and Sam put on some serious work in the last house season.
Sam doesn't even get a chance to use the duplicate, though. Good Helix rockets from Arctic Shadow onto Sam. Right away, slam down from Danny's going to hit the Doomfist for a little while. Doomfist falling out to maybe about half health. Have to go back to the rest of the team, and that's not bad. If you're Northwood right now, you get Sam back into the fight, and now Danny, oh my gosh, Danny falls also low. Boat falls also low as well, and Vega's gone from Northwood, so one of the sports is gone. No Kitane Rush upcoming here either in this fight. Chopper's got Vega for right now. You do have the grip for them already. Danny's got Haven in the process, and there goes Sam's duplication for absolutely nothing. And so right now, even with the hit scan of both trying to do their best here, it's going to be Illini Orange getting themselves a couple of kills, and it's going to be the point flipping over to the Illinois University.
I mean, on Lion Eye Orange right there, they were able to really make a ultimate deficit go into their favor. Now they're still dealing with Bob on the outside here. I look to see Boat possibly changing over to a Tracer, or, you know, you can stick with this, but you don't have the Mercy Pocket, so you don't have 195 hit points with the M down sights and the Viper. That's the big problem. Good thing for them, though, they have the Nano, and they've got City Rush.
Somebody's got to look at the point, by the way, because, yeah, it just flipped. So Illini group up all the way through. Unfortunately, that means Northwood's just got a free door in to the point, and it flips over to them. So the Illini only get 19%, and that may be all they get. Arctic Shadow does go down, trades that up for Sam right away. Rocket Barrage is going to come down. Cowman caught inside of that Rocket Barrage. That's going to be it, though. Makes it a 5v3 scenario right now for the Illini in their favor as they get the res up for right now. Danny's got to get all the way away. 46 health, and just barely lives to see the next day. Gets down to the mega health back. But Chopper now does get 2 onto Vega and Sabot, and the Illini get it back for 99 for Northwood.
We all know Chopper from Contenders, and we know that this gamer has the aim to pretty much play most of the real skill-based DPS, the projectiles like a Hanzo, like the Genji. You can also see, obviously, with Pharaoh right now. The Arctic Shadow, though, has been really surprising with their success with the Helix Rocket. So, Duplicate coming up online here. Is Zoolander going to go down? No, he pops it for himself.
Yeah, pops the Tree of Life for himself, and that's going to be something you take as Northwood because that forces out a big ult you could have used for the point. Instead, Sam is going to duplicate into the far, but watch out behind you, Arctic Shadow. You don't know that there's Sam right behind you with the rockets. Arctic Shadow is taken down, but it's a 2v2 in the process. Sam versus the far of Chopper. Who's going to win this one out? Sam's duplication ends right now, and the Mercy is caught out there, but Chopper catches Sam mid-air inside of that duplication. 67%, the Illini are still rolling.
I mean, right now, it's a big tank difference. The initiation coming in from Danny has been a little bit too clean, and the disruption in the back line isn't allowing Haven and Vega to get into these fights. And now you're looking at Mines and a Valkyrie ready to go. 17% towards Barrage.
So 70%, or now to 92%. Onto that Rocket Barrage. Chopper does take down Vega. Haven's gone as well. That's both of your supports gone. Illini's got a chance to win this one out here on the Lighthouse. Vega has to switch on over to the Lucio to even try to get them to the point. 95%, there's the Rocket Barrage out, but it's going to get countered out by the sticky names of Sam. Sam takes that down. Meanwhile, Danny's in your back line, taking down both. So again, the Ash is gone in the process. There's the res up on the Chopper right now. Chopper's back in the game 5v4. Landmines are out as well. And now there's going to be the slam down. The Meteor Strike gets nothing at the moment. Overtime clock starts to run. Sam's got 2 on the Chopper and Marble. There's the Pharmacy combination gone. No Tree of Life, no ultimates at all for the Illini at this point. Nobody's got anything. Arctic Shadow's going to have to be the hero. Takes down Sam in the process right now. They've got the Lucio left to go. There's the landmines all over the back of the point, but the Lucio's able to escape from it right now. Cowman's got Arctic Shadow down, and they've got the objective secured. And it's a 199 for Northwood, but Illini getting so close to taking that all the way back.
I mean, just hero plays that they had. That was individual skill that really closed that one out. And you saw Boat getting the work done on the outside on the Tracer. Now, as we head to Ruins, this is where I expect to see, I expect to see a little bit more coming out from Boat. And we're going to see Vega actually bring the 3rd DPS. And the new support hero, the Peruvian Iyari, oh, man, can put a serious hurt down with their DPS shots. So I mean, for Illini right now, you're gonna have 2 hit scans coming at you. Cowman, I'm kind of shocked that they're staying with this, but you know, I mean, they in the end they got the work, they got the disruption done.
Well, let's see. Yep, nothing changed except for that Iati from Northwood right now. Vega switches on over, was on the Kiriko before, but we'll switch on over to the newest hero inside of the champion pool in Overwatch. So the Illini sticking pretty much to the same tactic here of that Pharmacy combination. Boat really hasn't been able to hit the Pharmacy combination thus far. Needed a little help from Sam. So Illini sticking to their guns. And right now it's working out for them. Pylon gone, Cowman gone. And well, you have the Mercy on the Illini side, but not on Northwood's side. So they've already got 1 kill to them. And it looks like they're already going to have the opportunity to flip the point. And Illini start us off.
I would love to see Cowman go over to the Diva here, to be quite honest, and get up into the face of Chopper and not make it all on Sam, because Boat's a little bit rusty, it looks like. Not hitting shots with what we normally see as their normal amount of accuracy, and they're just done.
Yeah, Boat's not having fun so far. Sam does take care of Danny though in the back line. So with DPS for a or DBS for a tank thus far, you would pretty much take that. Both going to switch on over, and instead we'll go to the Somber pick instead. Lots of sticky grenades from Sam onto Chopper, and I don't think you're going to have a mercy chance to pull this out. Life Grip doesn't even help you anyways. They're going to try to keep this point as long as possible, but Danny is going to fall down with the hack as well. There's the focus beam, but the focus beam, he still stays alive after that, but it's going to be Northwood that flips in the end.
Well, I would expect to see a swap. Once they realize that there's a Sombra out there, I think they're going to go ahead and swap off of the Star and see what they can get done.
Good call there.
But, yeah, I mean, the hack comes through. Cowman has to get out with their life. You've got a duplicate ready, and once again, manual hack going on the Chopper.
Captive Sun also available for Vega. We know Captive Sun almost immediately, I mean, I guess you could say almost immediately got nerfed after she got released. And Vega has to use it to try to get back onto the map. What a punch by Danny, so that forces out the Captain Sun. I don't think the Captain Sun gets anything, and maybe gets one, but Chopper falls off the map on their own, so Chopper's out of the fight, and unless Mercy wants to go ahead and try to make the riskiest res of their life, there's no chance they're getting that. Marble has to back away for right now. Duplication from Sam onto the Soldier of Arctic Shadow. Cowman's gonna go right in. You were talking about the aggression. That's the aggression that comes out from Cowman right now. Sam is taking out a duplicate, but Sam takes out Danny immediately afterwards, but it's still a scrappy fight either way.
These trades are disgusting, let me tell you what. I mean, it started to actually turn in favor, and the Mercy Dip comes out here. Marble getting Danny back up to the fight. You've got the brush. Definitely need to let him go, but actually you can probably win this in the neutral.
Yeah, you might win this on the neutral side as well. EMP's going to come out, only hits Chopper in the process, but Chopper, no follow-up to him anyways, and Chopper's got Vega down. Meteor Strike's going to come down from Danny, and Danny's going to go ahead and place that right back to the rest of the machine. Chopper uses the Rocket Brush, is able to find Sam, is able to total 3 kills in the fight, and it's back to the Illini.
Okay, I like the Somber pick. The EMP, that was a bit lacking. But you've got Nano Engage coming in here for Northwood, but the Tac Visor, there's nothing to mitigate other than one singular power block.
Oh, let's see. I mean, you've got the Tactical Visor coming up for you for the Illini. Northwood's got one of their own on the Nano boost. Danny, though, is able to take down Command, so little to no engage coming up here for Northwood. They are 62%. You could back off for right now, but trouble is Illini looking a little bit more aggressive on their end.
They're getting it done. They're getting so much work done, especially with the engage coming in from Danny. Once they went off the wrecking ball, they have really held their own in these engagements and now have taken the lead. You're looking at the Tac Visor still being able to be held.
Yeah, Tac Visor still held on to right now. They'll use the Tree of Life in the back line to make sure somebody stays alive. There's the Tac Visor on from Arctic Shadow. Is just going to hit Sam. Sam is being healed all sorts of places from that healing pylon. Keeps him alive for the entirety of that Tactical Visor. Meanwhile, Illini still 90%. Sam's going to have to back off for right now. There's going to be the tank running away. Danny's focus beam down, and Danny's gone from the hands of Boat. It'll flip back to Northwood, but Illini's got 94.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be one fight territory here, and Boat's going to be the kicker here, trying to find Chopper on the manual hack. You're 40% away from EMP. The good thing is that you can keep yourself in the fight with a duplicate. We've seen Sam do it twice now, and really survive situations they had no right surviving in. Immediate displacement, though, will be coming in from Danny, and they'll be able to reposition with the Meteor Strike.
Okay. And also, Marble went down very early on as well, so Illini have to back off, but now the Illini's going to find a way to get on the point here. 93%. Chopper can't get there because he's hacked for a little while, and now they might have somebody get on point. Arctic Shadow tries for one, nothing there. Illini do have somebody on point, but Sam might have just saved it. Sam gets rid of Arctic Shadow, meaning Sam's got no trouble at all trying to go ahead and duplicate into the Fara here with nothing to hit. Sam's going to go ahead and get that kill off of the EMP, and it's going to be very close to maps, but on the Ruins, as well as the Lighthouse, it's going to be a Northwood victory as they take first point of the series.
They've got to be sweating in their gamer chairs right now, though, Keegan, because the Illini Orange have come out with fire in their eyes. Their aim is absolutely freaking amazing right now. The coordination is good. They're focusing targets down and really making the back line of Northwood have to give room for pause. And that's the big difference. What I've seen from this Illini Orange team this year is that they have started to play just absolutely perfect synergistic Overwatch together. And I mean, the results are right here on our screens in front of us. That makes Northwood sweat. That makes my 3-0 prediction very shaky indeed.
Well, it's off to a start. We'll say that. Your 3-0 prediction is off to the right start. 1-0 so far in terms for the Northwood team. Again, ranked number 3 in the Oka rankings, which you are a part of. But, I mean, not a bad start. Like I said, when I talked to the team from Illinois, they said they looked like they could make some noise against some of the top teams here. Northwood, one of the teams that they were eyeing on. And yeah, I would say that's some noise to start. I mean, even if it was an 0-2, that 0-2 loss on Elios, that does not tell you the story of what just happened if you're just joining us. 199 on the Lighthouse, 194 on the Ruins. So not a bad start here for Illinois if you're trying to take down the number 3 team in the nation. But we go now to the next map here for for Illinois' pick. So be pretty interesting to see what they try to pull out of the bag here.
Oh my goodness! It's all down to map picks and what works best into your composition that you want to run, Keegan. So for the Illini, first of all, they need to decide: is Mikey going to come in for Calman and give more of a tank presence? Because Calman was getting pretty beat up. Sometimes a little bit of overextension. Sometimes the healing support just wasn't there. So. We need to see if there's going to be a substitution coming in and then playing into their strengths rather than what Maryville's weakness or what Northwood's weaknesses are.
Yeah, and so the thing about this is we would be able to talk about map pools and all that, but the problem is with the map. The problem is we have changed. The rules have changed a little bit when it comes to the Overwatch. It kind of moves on over to that Overwatch League style where it's more not so much the map and it's kind of set like it was last season as it now is because of Flashpoint. It's now you can I'm pretty sure the map rule now is you can change the map as well as the game type. So it's not going to be control. We know that for a fact. But the question is, from what you're seeing so far right now, is there a game mode for Illinois that you think that favors them right now?
What? Okay, I'm confused as to what they just put in there.
Oh no. So okay. So they're actually going to go back to back here for. They're actually going to go back-to-back on the... Oh, that's right. Okay, so I'm sorry. I did get the rules wrong just a little bit. They cannot play the same game mode 3 times in a row. They can go back-to-back should they need to. So you can choose different game modes and maps at the same time so long as it's within the pool. However, you cannot go 3 in a row. So different rule set that we have here in the CECC this year for 2023-24. But we're going to see control one more time, and this time it's going to be Oasis coming up here. So for the Illini... This is their map pick. This is their map mode. So do they have an advantage here is the question because we're playing control again.
I think that they smell blood in the water from control, and they're going to try and press their advantage here. We do see Calman coming back out here. So we're going to have the same look coming out from them. Arctic Shadow shows us Symmetra. Let's see. They're going to come out on the Tracer. So definitely going to be trying to get that backline presence once again going in with Danny. The coordinated dives are going to be what we're looking at for there. For Calman, Junker Queen was a revelation when they got their hands on this hero. So can you get the cleave going in? And Sam's got to be a thorn in the side of the Illini Orange as well on the Genji.
Well, let's see already. You can see the presence on the point so far has been Northwood as they're the first ones on. This Genji's trying to dive right into the Pharah, has to deflect away, and both got the secondary fire shot from the railgun onto Chopper. That means that Pharah is no longer a problem unless there's a res coming from the Mercy, but Sam's going to take care of that. And Northwood right away takes the first split.
Well, I mean, a little bit of a sustain here for Dave, but Life Grip beautiful away. Still goes down for their troubles. And this is going to be an evil stagger onto Zoolander. So 13% and counting. Look at our ultimates. I mean, about 50% across the board for Northwood. Chopper is being shut down. And I think they've recognized that Chopper on this Pharah is going to be a massive source of annoyance for your Northwood University squad. So this is where I'm looking to see they're already making the adaptations. I think that they've got the right composition. I think that running the Ana here definitely gives room for pause, especially for ground base. It really does proc away a lot of the stuff coming out onto the Wrecking Ball. And then, Boat is just locked in now.
Yeah, Boat's 2 for 2 now. I guess they heard what I said about not having a great game last one. So this game, this time around, secondary railgun fire shots and right on to the Pharah. In which case, that already gives them there, and they're halfway through, so Northwood looking pretty decent here, and this Sojourn pick might have just been the help they needed.
But Choppa is known for the Widow. I talk about a lot about the projectile DPS. Well, the Widow comes out pretty handy and has gone back and is back over onto the Pharah.
Oh boy, and there's going to already be the proximity mine dropped and about. Chopper's got both, so Chopper gets a little bit of revenge in the back line. This Arctic Shadow also taking down Calman. Now it's going to be the hack / dash away from the Genji Blade. However, the Nano Blade gets Chopper, and that's all they will get off of this. Sam has to back away with 11 health. Danny will pull them over, and it's going to be the Illini flipping it to them.
Nice escapability there from Marble. Nice use of the Mercy Tech to keep themselves away from that. But, I mean, another kill, and the res is off the board, so that is going to stay Vega over to the Baptiste, so you're going to have a little bit more of an aerial presence as well as some burst killing coming out.
I wouldn't be surprised to see the Tree of Life here right away. Can't even use it anyways because that's a big Rampage coming up from Cowman. Zoolander's going to have to race them all the way up, and Marble's gone in the process. Rampage gets both of the supports plus Danny. Danny goes away and backs up for right now. It's going to be flipped back to Northwood in the meantime. Chopper falls also low. Marble's not there to heal them up, and that's not good either when Sam's got down. Immortality Field gone, and Tree of Life having to use all the way in the backline. Sam's maybe wanted to get out of this in the process here, but still staying in the Tree of Life area. Haven's taking down Arctic Shadow in the meantime. 98%. Somebody's got to touch. Danny will touch in the process to keep this going. Chopper's found a way to get both down with one of the kills, but now it's just that application matrix. Oh boy, that's not good. He's gonna try to flip this back to the Illini in the process. Chopper and Marble are the only two left to go besides Danny that can do anything here. Rocket Barrage has one kill for right now onto Cowman, but Sam dashes on into Marble, which is not a good scenario for them right now. As oh boy, this Baptiste is in so much trouble. How are you still alive, my friend? How are you still alive and getting kills? My goodness. It's just the split push here. Now Chopper's all by themselves. Nothing else to do but wait for this one. And I'm thinking that the Illini are pretty much going to wait for the next map here. But they flip it back in the process. I don't know how.
You just luck at the spam coming in from the Rockets. And I mean, that's going to be the kills coming through. And now you've got a nano soldier coming through. This should clear it up.
Yeah, this should pretty much clear it up. Vega and both get their kills. It's going to be a stick pulse bomb. That's not even going to matter anyways. Bolt will take that gladly as Northwood gets it 100-32 to start on the city center. But, hey, I mean, Northwood may have changed something up. I mean, this is the Illini's pick, but Northwood feeling pretty confident after that one.
Well, remember, we ran nothing but Doomfist on Ilios, and now we've got the Junker Queen, which has a lot more sustainability. It has the commanding shout, so you also have the mobility to get away when you do let loose at that. You've also got the bleed that's coming through from the Carnage, the Axe, and you can pull people into you and finish off kills like that. We saw Boat do that a number of times. So just bringing out the different tank here really did benefit Northwood. I mean, 100-23, that is nothing to sniff at. So, I mean, for the Illini right now, you've got to find a way into the backline because Hava and Vega absolutely owned you. You saw how they just kept each other alive when Danny was bearing down on top of them.
Well, let's see. Both of them going to pull out the Pharah here, but the Bastion from Sam. Bastion is out and about here in third form already very early on, and really nobody really wants to go for the points so far. I think this is just that center area just kind of blocking them off a little bit. Just playing safer right now, out of the Bastion's way, out of the turret's range. Big are trying to go way up top, and speaking of from the top, Bolt's going to say hello to Chopper and wins the Pharah duel so far. Maybe Marvel gets that resurrection. I don't think so. Marvel's just trying to keep this Life Weaver alive. Too bad Boat's just got so much good accuracy coming. Arctic Shadow does take down Boat in the process, but I think this is going to be Northwood starting us off.
It is, and I mean, especially with True Mercy going down, I mean, you might have some annoyance here from Arctic Shadow, but other than that, this is a pretty good opening salvo here from Northwood. Now, Illini Orange. They're going to be looking to really push around the outside, pull the eye level away from Northwood. And, you know, you've got Arctic Shadow with the Pulse Bomb. Going on a flank would be the best opportunity for them to try and wrestle control at this point.
Oh, Danny's going to be slept in the process, and there's going to be a Pulse Bomb along with that Bastion. And so Sam is gone due to the Pulse Bomb, so not a bad start. Big chunk of your damage gone, and you've got both of the damagers gone, basically. Vega's gone, and it's going to be looking like a flip to the Illini here. 29% up to about 32 as it goes back to Illinois.
I mean, Danny's feeling their spiciness right now. Had their Wheaties this morning and definitely feeling their oats right now. Chopper about 15% away from Barrage. Now, Vega does have this Tree of Life ready to go, actually. It's outstripped Shoelander on that. So, for Northwood, I think that you get in there and you just go hams and really try to pull these ultimates out of the line. If you can get the Tree of Life out first, big win for them.
Well, you might not even need the Tree of Life at this point, although Vega does use it. Zoolander says, nah, we'll just wait for the next fight, because that's already 3 kills falling for Northwood in the process. So Illini will take the lead actually on this, but it'll be back to Northwood in the process, or they'll tie before Northwood takes it. Oh boy.
You've got a pesky, you've got a pesky Life Weaver up there.
I would be surprised if Zoolander used that tree, but to no avail. I mean, okay. Zoolander did their best here. Rocket Barrage is out onto an auto-boosted. Oh boy, so Rocket Barrage is on either side. Both takes care of 2. Chopper takes care of an auto-boosted Sam in the process here. But kills falling, and it's looking like it's going back to Northwood. A lot of ultimates being used by Illini, though. On both sides, really.
Ready to go. Right, yeah. I mean, it was pretty expensive for both teams, but you have the artillery strike ready for Sam. So that's really going to have to make Marble, Zoolander, and Arctic Shadow all give room for pause for where they're at. And then you're looking up next. Well, I say that. Vega just gets deleted. Bye-bye out of the server.
Yeah, Vega on. As right now, there's no Life Weaver coming up for Northwood, so maybe they want to try to take the point here. Problem is you've got a lot of damage raining up from this Bastion. Bastion knocked over from Danny, so nothing coming up top, meaning a little bit more free range coming from Chopper, who's trying to rain down damage from above for right now. Everybody's stuck in the side room. Danny's going to use proximity mine, slams down. Is there anybody that's caught inside of it? No, that's a great Bionade from Haven before Haven dies. However, Danny's going to get a total of 3 kills here. And my, oh my, the Wrecking Ball showing up here for the Illini, and they stay alive in overtime.
Vega and both showing their appreciation to what Danny just did him dirty. And he's not done yet. They brought the Iliadi out now, and Vega getting really good progress towards their captive son. Comment, gonna show us something that we haven't seen for a little while in the Hog. Gonna try and pull somebody into them and delete them out of the server.
Well, maybe pulling the, probably most likely pulling Danny off so that Danny can't get there. Already a pulse bomb stuck on Comment. Good thing Comment's got that take a breather and will basically take no damage whatsoever from that take a breather anyways. So we're back to reset without a pulse bomb available from Arctic Shadow. Tree of Life's gonna go right on the point from Zoolander, try to keep this team up and about so far. As right now that Tree of Life still up right now is just trying to maybe delete that Tree of Life, and there that goes. It's back to Northwood in the process. Illini working with 0 ultimates. It's a nano-boosted Captain Sun at the same time for Vega. Vega's found a little bit more, and that's just going to do it. Nobody else is going to be able to touch the point, and Northwood now looking at series sweep point.
I mean, this is pretty comprehensive out of Northwood. Their compositions, their focus fire has definitely been upped and leveled up from what we saw in Ilios. Danny is a one-man wrecking machine and is really getting it done here. This is the 3K that comes out. What a boop, what a roll through. Gets all the work done that they need, and, well, we'll see what they can do here. As we have the next map type coming out, it's going to be the Illini's choice once again. But this is the power of pedigree, and this is what Northwood brings. I mean, Northwood did not get the Overwatch Championship at the CEC last year, but they did perform very well at the CECC. So they also performed very well in Homecoming. So there's a lot of competitions that this Northwood team really does excel at. And for the Illini, while you have the individual pieces, I think that you have a lot of really good pieces here. I don't think that we have the cohesion. I don't think we have the same cohesion that Northwood has. Now, I mean, keep playing because we see what they're doing in Homecoming. I mean, the Illini are nothing to sniff at. Like you said, 5-1 coming in, only having lost to a resurgent Boise State team with Clear on that team. Clear and company are making some massive waves. I can tell you my rankings are going to be pushing Boise State up just because of what happened this past weekend. But for Northwood, I mean, they do also lose to Boise State. So you think, there might be a little bit of a shift of balance right now. Maybe it's just early season jitters in the collegiate scene. I mean, not everybody's expected to perform at 100% right out the gate. And, we're seeing Haven coming in here. Haven is a relatively new addition to Northwood. So I think there's a little bit more synergistic stuff for them to work out there. But I think that they are on the right track.
Yeah, so we got the next map coming out here. You cannot play 3 in a row from the looks of it right now. So we'll get to so more than 3 times in a match, I should say. So teams meet. So we got the rule set, mind you, while we were in game here. So for this new map selection process here, for all selections of the tournament, I want to read the rules here straight up. The initial map will be assigned by tournament administration. Will always be controlled. That's why you started off on Ilios. However, the subsequent game modes, everything thereafter, from a set of map pools within each game type by the losing team. Teams may not choose the same mode more than 3 times in a match. In other words, 3 is your limit for the same game mode. So we will reach that in game number 1. We will indeed get to 3 of the same game mode, and the third map and potentially final map as Northwood will have 3 opportunities in match point here. We will go to the next control map. And I said control, folks. Yes, it gets a little weird. We are going to control, and we are going to what I would say is one of the 2 fan favorites, and it's going to be Lijiang Tower coming up for game number 3.
I mean, Chopper can really operate here. I'm thinking Gardens. I'm thinking Night Market. So as long as you get, if you can get both of them, if you can get to a third map, you get both of those maps in your rotation, Chopper can dominate. But we've seen Sam and Boat be able to start to deal with Chopper around the outside. Also, I think Calman has a bigger tank pool than what we see from Danny. Danny may have more in the tank, but I haven't seen it yet. So for me, I think it's going to come down to tank presence. How do you hold space? And then how do you take the space after that? Once you've claimed the point, how do you really reject and deflect the energy from your opponents coming in? Do you find those lines of sight? Do you find, the good lines of sight and the good angles there as the team approaches in? I think that night market probably will favor the Illini a little bit more. We're going to go to Gardens first. So once again, this is a great map here for Afera. We'll see how this goes.
And Northwood pulling out the Winston for the first time. And behind the scenes, we'll tell you this. Behind the scenes, our friend Septilin saying he was expecting to see Winston at least once here. And, well, he gets his wish. Comment pulls out the Winston in this case. I think Sam and Vega have switched roles. Yeah, Sam is on Kiriko now, and Vega's on the Soldier. So maybe it's because they're up 2-0. I mean, what do you think here, Billy? Maybe it's because they're up 2-0?
I think it's because they're up 2-0. And I mean, Kiriko is a aim intensive hero as well, so you don't lose much in the aim, obviously, having played for the Shock. So it's just a little bit of the extra timing there. It almost has the same cadence as a Genji Shuriken, so we'll see how they'll get working on this. But I mean, early damage coming in. Danny nanoed up and finally gets the heals coming through. So Haven has been landing these anti-nades scarily.
Oh, both won the far battle in the process, though, and no. Well, there is Marble, but Bolt's going to say, well, if I can take care of one, I can take care of the other. And Marble's got 2, and Northwood starts us off.
Relatively quick fight here for Northwood to win as well. And we get the sleep through coming through from Haven, and the follow-up is brutal.
Yeah, Danny's been hit with a couple of sleep darts from Haven so far. So Haven's been hitting this with all the good accuracy of that sleep dart. So right now, Northwood looking to see if they can sweep the series right here. Predictions may have come true on both ends, but we'll get to see this in a little while. Danny's taking care of Sam in the back line, though, so there's one healer gone, no resurrections either. Again, Haven just hitting these sleep darts as soon as this wrecking ball just comes anywhere near to Haven. Right now, as Danny's taking care of Vega in the process, though. It's going to be this Far versus Far Mercy, and if Chopper's going to get the better of both this time around, it's going to be the Illini flipping this point back to them.
Well, I mean, it depends on how many can build up to this. No, they cannot. They were 4% away from that prime rate. So they've got initiation tools coming in. They've got the Tac Visor, which will deal with the pharmacy combo. Maybe picking up Two-Lander in the interim, but the mines are going to be where I'm looking at, and they just barely escaped without being pooped off the side.
Yeah, escaped with their lives. Breathe a sigh of relief there for right now. Rocket Barrage is available only for Chopper right now. Pack Advisor out from Vega. Boss Bomb goes a little bit wide for Arctic Shadow from where they wanted to place that onto Vega. Sam's taking the headshot onto Arctic Shadow in the process. Chopper does still have the Rocket Barrage available to them. Cowman does have Primal Rage. There's going to be the Rocket Barrage out, and Primal Rage is going to have to be popped. Vega takes care of Chopper in the back line already. Marble does pop the Valkyrie, seeing if they can maybe get the res out. Danny goes off the map in the process, and so that Valkyrie goes off for nothing, and it's back to Northwood.
I mean, what a well-spaced and measured Primal Rage. I mean, was in the middle of the barrage animation and pops it and gets that immediate 1,000 health and just goes in and Vegas cleans up to work on the back of it. So, mine's still available here to Danny. You can get this point nice and toasty with it.
Well, oh, that's a great bubble coming out from Kamen. Allows them to escape the little bit of cone right there. So just gets out for a little while. There's going to be the Kitsune Rush coming out from Sam in the process. So they're just going to back away from right now. They kite away, but it might be too little too late as Marble goes down. Arctic Shadow, though, able to get revenge for that, and it's tanked down to a healer. I mean, the question is, do you push up on this in a 4v4 situation? Woo! You might want to, because Chopper takes care of both. Now there's the process. There's going to be the Protective Suits already used. Vega's already found 1. Vega's found 2, and this fight is all but over here as Northwood just going to try to clean sweep this one away. Marble goes down, although does res up Chopper, but that might not matter all too much when you've got the aim of Vega, and it's going to be 99%, and that's going to do it here. Northwood takes the first map of Gardens 100-37, and they're only 1 map point away from stealing the series.
I mean, Chopper was getting the better of the Farah duels, though. Like I said, lots of room to maneuver outside the pagoda there. for Ifera. Had better lines of sight, also had the Mercy Tether, and we're going to Night Market. So do we see a swap up here? I mean, because Symmetra reigns on this map specifically. Cowman is going to possibly stay with the Reinhardt, so it's going to definitely make life hell on the point, especially when you've got those Symmetra turrets coming in. You need to have some kind of damage mitigation, otherwise those turrets are going to fry you like a moth. So for Northwood, looks like Sam's going to show us the Yachty here.
Yep, so Sam shows the Yachty in this case, not the Kiriko anymore, and Illini will make a last-second switch here as the doors open up. It'll go from Arctic Shadow from that Tracer onto the Sojourn instead, but no Symmetra seen whatsoever. Northwood, though, going to play a little bit of the tank roulette, if you will, that we saw earlier on that Winston. Now it's going to be the Reinhardt here, like you were saying. So 7 seconds until the point unlocks. Really, both of the teams just kind of poking at each other, but if you're talking about point control, it's going to go to Northwood to start. Both taking care of Chopper. Marble's in a little bit of trouble, but Marble does find the res off on the Chopper, but a lot of the Illini falling so low. Arctic Shadow, though, in the process, and this Iani's getting a little bit aggressive here, has to get out, and is able to escape with their lives, but this time it's going to be an Illini starting us off.
I mean, you do have, you still have all of your cooldowns here ready to go. So I mean, Vega gets out with their life barely, and I think that we're looking at a 3 DPS situation here, but 2 hit scans, exactly what they need.
Oh, Chopper takes care of Vega, though, in the process. Northwood's able to flip it in the meanwhile, but Danny and Chopper both getting their kills is going to be huge right now. Danny slept, but can't get knocked off unless he had that Pharah, and so Illini may have let that point slip, but they're going to get it right back.
I mean, it's 16% counting right now. We'll see if there's any more changes coming out. Vega has swapped over 2. The Tracer gets absolutely blown up. That's going to be 3 ultimates coming up on the board for this next fight for Illini, but Sam does find the range.
Zulander's going to pop off the Tree of Life here, and that's going to be on the second deck. And so that Tree of Life goes down right away, too. So Zulander does use it, so no more ultimates on the side of the Illini currently. Northwood doesn't have anything except for maybe 2 ultimates coming up here. Both going to try to get his up as fast as possible, I should say. Cowman just can't do anything. Danny's just a little bit too aggressive and no help either on the healing side. And the Illini making some noise, and they're halfway through on the percentages.
I mean, I like it, and I think this is where you see Cowman's going to go over to the Roadhogs for a little bit more self-sustainability, and that's exactly what this composition wants to do. It wants to stay away, it wants to be able to go get their own healing out. And I mean, you've got the recall, you've got the Captive Sun coming out. This could be dangerous.
Captive Sun hits 2, I believe, but it's not going to get much more than that. However, as I say that, Zulander and Danny both go down. Good follow-up from the team here. Somehow, someway, Marble gets the res, but it's going to be all for nothing here. Unless Chopper can find a way to pop off with the rocket barrage they have left, doesn't matter.
What?
With the jump shot. Oh my goodness. Woo! Sam with the jump shot upstairs. And all Zulander can do is just go back to the spawner. My, oh my, what a shot.
Okay, Vega. You know what? So many riches in one player. It's not fair to the rest of us that are laboring down in the metal ranks. But I digress. Barrage ready to go. Pulse Bomb is also online here for Vega. Let's see where they go with it.
Now let's see what happens indeed. Illini looking to see if they can keep themselves alive in this one. Northwood winning the snap means it is game, set, series. Right now, Danny getting the pylon down means that, oh, where's Chopper actually? Okay, I thought Chopper like kind of was looking at the wrong side of the map, was looking at a wall in the process of that sleep, but Arctic Shadow and Danny both getting their kills. Northwood halfway home for the percentages, but 2-1 kills in favor of the Illini. Back-to-back kills for Vega, though, however, the Illini flip it back to them.
I mean, you've still got the barrage, so I mean, would they decide to let loose then? Nothing really to negate it, unless we see Vega somehow go top shelf and get a pulse bomb.
Let's see, Northwood flipping it back to them in the process here as they're trying to get on, but there's going to be the Pharah and Mercy up there. Pulse Bomb's available. Pulse Bomb's going to land, and Pulse Bomb doesn't stick. However, Zulander's in a lot of trouble. Zulander punches Vega, and Vega gone. Cowman does get Arctic Shadow in the process. 4v4 overtime clock hits. First time it'll hit for the Illini this series. And now they're going to get the hook on the rocket. Does nothing. Cowman says, no, not today. Cowman gets 3. Northwood stays alive.
Last second heroics once again coming through from your tank player here for Northwood. That was amazing. Gets them out of the range of the healers and just completely ends them. And now for Lionel Orange, they've got mines ready to come in, but so low here for Danny. You're also going to have the Valkyrie once again, going to keep Chopper nice and healthy.
78% to 99 and rolling for Northwood here. This is going to be final fight territory. The deciding factor right here. Danny and Arctic Shadow both getting killed onto Sam and Vega. Huge for them. Haven's going to have to pop off on the Nano Boost and puts the Nano Boost onto Boat, but Boat has nothing available to them on an ultimate, and Danny's got Haven in the process. So Northwood on dire straits here to try to keep this one alive and try to keep the sweep potential happening on 2 O's on each map. However, right now it's not looking great. Cowman does go down. Pharmacy combination just a little bit too much here for Northwood to handle, at least on this map. And right now the overtime clock starts to run, and Line flipped it back to them. 99 to 99. Somebody's got to touch. It's going to be Vega that touches for right now. Keeps the overtime clock alive. How much longer can they keep this going? Pylon gone from Sam for a couple of more seconds here. Right now, this pharmacy combination just making this a little bit too tough here for Northwood to try to enter. Oh, that pedal does not lift up high enough for them to get out of it for right now. Northwood's going to have it to flip, maybe, but somebody gets back onto point in time. Arctic Shadow does have the false bomb available to them. Vega does as well. False bomb, they make the difference. Northwood flips it right back to them, but still stays alive, and nobody's going to touch the point. Nobody touches. Northwood gets it. Oh my goodness. Northwood gets the flip and nobody else touches. And there's the series sweep.
It has been 0 days since I've seen a C9 in the most egregious fashion. They had the tools there. They were just about to pull up their fourth tree of light. Pulls them out of the barrage and takes care of the work there. Cowman absolutely saving this. Oh man,
oh, boy.
Hands
and face and all for the both of us. We knew it. Oh
nope,
man.
Nope. Oh, that is egregious. That is egregious in the most horrible way. But I mean, I was thinking that even if we went to, even if they do win there, we go to Night Market and Cowman has the Reinhardt on lock, and I'm pretty sure they would have just gotten their way there. But as it stands, it is a 3-0 clean sweep all the way through for your Northwood squad, and now they're going to face up against Maryville in the grand finals.
Yeah, we'll get Maryville and Northwood here in a second. Want to bring back in Septilence in the process here, as Septilence was watching alongside of us. And Sept, that's an interesting way to end, buddy. That was an interesting way to end that.
Clutch, brother, it hurts. My jaw was on the floor right before you said my name. As close could be, but it never clicks. And I actually want to ask you about this because I have thoughts on. I would love to hear what you guys have to say about this. You lose map 1, it's control. It's super close. Picking a second time makes sense. It was very close. You could have pulled it out. But picking a third time, never giving your team a chance to go and try a different map type. What is the logic behind that? And I guess, how do you guys feel about it? Because personally, I think that's shooting yourself in the foot pretty badly.
You just said it perfectly. You just shot yourself in the foot. I would have gone to any other map type. I mean, Flashpoint, because it's new for everybody. Yeah. I would have taken them to Flashpoint after the second loss on control, completely, because it kind of operates like control. Yeah, but it's not the same. And I think that with Danny, how well they performed on the Wrecking Ball, I think they would have had a very darn good chance of getting at least being competitive in Flashpoint. So, for me, I mean, I was ready to say it. It was on the tip of my tongue. Why do you go to a third control map? It just baffles my mind.
And I love that. It feels like we're all on the same page here. It feels like going to Flashpoint may have been a good way to kind of put Northwood on the back foot a little bit. So, Clutch, is that how you follow through on that? Do you go into a Flashpoint map? Do you go into something new to find them, on equal playing ground, perhaps?
I don't know if I'd say equal playing ground. I mean, both teams probably have practiced it. The only map you've got in that Flashpoint pool anyways are 2 maps. New Junk City as well as Suravasa, but Suravasa is the only one in that pool, mind you, in the current pool that we have here in CECC. So, I mean, yes, it'd be more equal considering both they have had the same amount of time of playing it. It would just be more of, it plays similarly to Control, just a little bit farther spawn points. So I don't know what you would have done. I don't know what you could have done there, but maybe I like Billy's thought on it. Change the map type, because you might have had a chance. But I will say this for Illinois before we start to wrap things up and take it to the next match here for the grand finals. Illinois made some noise. I mean, it's not like they got blown out 100-0 on every single time. There maybe the only 2 I could say that maybe they may have gotten more blown out, if anything, was Control Center. City Center on Oasis and Garden on Lijiang Tower. Other than that, they got to at least 70% and then 99 on 2 occasions. So I'm not going to say they got completely again, 3-0 is not the story of this. I mean, they made some noise and they made Northwood kind of sweat a little in some cases.
Without a doubt. And now we've got a little room for a break here. We're going to see these teams catch their breath. Northwood can start over, pray for something that isn't control for maps 2+ against their opponents, Maryville, in the grand finals, which we'll be back with in just a couple of minutes. Don't go far. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to CECC Midwest Qualifier. Once again, I am Septulence, joined by Clutch Key and Chef Billy as we are awaiting the Overwatch Grand Finals to start. Now, this is a pretty big deal because this will be the first team to be a Grand Finalist victor of the CECC 2023-2024 season. So, somebody's setting a precedent early, and guys, who better to do it than the defending champions themselves, Maryville University, and that is exactly who I want to spend a little bit of time talking about right now, because this team comes out. They are, to many, statistically and by popular opinion, the best collegiate team maybe in the world. Certainly in the country, maybe in the world. Maryville goes unparalleled in a lot of ways. So to be Northwood, to go into this against a team notorious for not losing, what is the proper approach to try and put anything on the board?
I mean, I think the appropriate approach to take down number one is, I mean, go at it like you would really any other game. I mean, honestly, don't play your game. That's the way I would look at it. Just like for Northwood, right? We just saw 3-0 up against the Illini. So I mean, it's not like they don't have talent, right? I mean, you have Sam, you have a former Overwatch League player, obviously, right? I mean, you've got Northwood up there. You've got your number 3 in the Oka rankings. I mean, we have an Oka representative as well right next to me at Billy. So it's like we know what the rankings are like. Even if it's a 1, even if it looks like it's a 1 versus 3, I don't necessarily think that that Maryville is going to have this easy because Northwood looks like they're pretty dang solid. I think that all they have to do is just play their game, play the way that they have been playing, and if it all works together, then it'll work out for them.
I mean, the fact that Northwood have Sam, they also have Mikey.
Yep.
Just to remind you that they also have Mikey, 2 former Shock teammates. So you've got that pedigree there. If Mikey's available to play, you could definitely switch it up. I just think that because Maryville competes in contenders, I think that gives them an extra layer of higher threshold competition. Yes. I think that's what the big difference is between, say, Maryville and everybody 2 through 20 in the Oka rankings, is the fact that they do compete at the highest level and win a lot in contenders. So I think that's the big difference right now is that the caliber of play that you see coming out of Maryville is just on a different level. Tree is a 3rd DPS. They moved Tree to the support role when Iliadi first came out, because of how broken she was. Now, I was watching Illinois Wesleyan's Twitch stream. Tree was back onto playing Bastion. So there is some moving parts there. You can throw them into the support role and put somebody else in. That's the other thing, is that there's so many moving cogs here for this Maryville team that I just think that they're head and shoulders above everybody else right now.
Yeah, and I mean, to just take a look at their roster right now, Billy, like you mentioned, and how successful this team has been so far, they have shuffled in the greatest of greats. We're talking about a team that has gone from beating collegiates to beating pro teams in scrims. Like, we're talking about they have taken down the giants on the shoulders of giants on the shoulders of giants. This has been a very successful team, and Maryville, I think, one of the most decorated, one of the most impressive, one of the most recognizable teams in the collegiate Overwatch space right now, and they're a team that has certainly earned that title. I mean, they've been playing off-kilter picks when they weren't meta. We've been seeing Bastion from Maryville for like over a year at this point. They lack Symmetra very often, and she is an incredibly niche character in this game. She's not great, she's not terrible, but if the person behind the wheel knows how to drive, she will rip your team limb from limb. In Maryville, they've proven that point over and over. So, Clutch, I do want to ask you, out of almost sheer curiosity here, going into this matchup, Northwood, they've been playing a couple of off-kilter things. They've been a little funny with it. They've played Control 3 times in a row. They're warmed up. It's their turn to play their game, right? What game do you want to be seeing from Northwood right now? Do you want that reserved play style, or do you want to see them continue to run it down on Wrecking Ball?
I want to see them play aggressive. I want to see them have some confidence. You want them to play like they're confident enough to take down what you guys are describing as basically Goliath. I mean, this is going to be the team that is going to be more aggressive. I think it takes up more space with the tank. Obviously, every composition is going to have its own thing, but for Maryville, we see really their flexibility, their depth. And Billy talked about it, right? Where Tree went from the Yachty early on and then is back onto the DPS side. But that shows you the flexibility of this roster. This roster could go any which way for Maryville. Northwood, at the same time, though, showed their own kind of flexibility, right? We saw it back in that last game against the Illini where Cowman basically went to any which way, right? They went Roadhog, Winston. I mean, you name it. There were plenty of different tanks. Even to the Junker Queen.
Worked.
Yeah, it played Hog and it worked. I mean, in this meta right now, Hog is usually not a play that you would make, and yet they played Hog spoke so confidently. You saw that 3K, the hook onto the far and everything as well. I mean, Northwood was playing a game that showed that they can get aggressive. That 3-0, yes, the scoreline may not have reflected what a 3-0 was because the Illini did put up a fight, but Northwood's capable of playing aggressive. Northwood's capable of putting up numbers, as we saw. They're not number 3 in the nation for nothing. If you can play aggressively, if you can play the way that you know how to play and play again with that cohesion that you have, who's not to say that Northwood can put up some kind of what some would call maybe the upset? I think they have the potential to.
And I will say, just kind of going into who's going to win where, what are you guys looking at predictions-wise? Who are we thinking is going to walk away with this? Because I think, while I have an answer, it's not nearly as, it's going to be blank. You know, it was very easy for me, that semifinal, but here in Grands, we're talking 1v3. So, Billy, kick us off, brother. Who is your destined winner? Who is your predicted opportunity taker here?
I think that Northwood will take a map off of Maryville, and it may be the control map because they just played 3 in a row, and they really did excel there. But I think Maryville comes out 3-1, and I'll tell you what, there's a little bit more to that. And the reason why I think that Maryville is going to be even more oppressive this season is that the fall and the decline of Redbird Esports. You don't have 2 super top caliber teams that you can sharpen your steel against here in the collegiate ecosystem. Redbirds have fallen into decline. I mean, Flutie has departed the system, so now they're rebuilding right now, and so you lose that opportunity to have a secondary, big giant up top to really sharpen your steel against. One, kind of plays off the other. The 2, big titans in the ground knock each other around, but then you have the feeder teams coming up that have a chance to play up against ones of them and get that confidence. So I think that this creates even more of a monopoly here for Maryville. And as long as they play their game, I don't think anybody can stop them right now.
I love it.
Yeah, I mean, for me as well, I've also got, on my side, I've got Maryville, but I'm kind of reluctant to say that this might not be an upset. I think I've got a 3-2, honestly. I've got a 3-2. I think this can go all the way.
More than possible.
I think it's more than possible. I'm also very surprised we haven't mentioned as well one name on this Maryville roster yet, and that's Dante. I mean, Dante's on this roster for Maryville as well. Well, maybe I'm hoping we get to see him, because that'd be pretty cool to see Dante. But at the same time too, Northwood is, like I've been saying, Northwood's not number 3 for no reason. I mean, in anything, whether it be esports or regular sports as well. I mean, whenever people are ranked at 1 and 3, when they go against each other, some fireworks can happen. I don't expect this to be a 3-0. Even if Billy says 3-1, I think it's going to go game 5. I think that Northwood is playing well enough to go to go the distance here.
I love it. And now, guys, you get to answer that question in just these next couple of minutes. Will Maryville continue to be this behemoth, or will they fall silently into that good night as titans like Redbird have before? It is time for you guys to walk us through the first winner of the CECC 2023-2024 qualifiers, and I will see y'all on the other side.
Thank you very much, Sept, and we'll back here between the two of us right now as we're bringing you in for Maryville versus Northwood, Titan versus Titan, last year's CECC 2023 champions, mind you, but I will point out Maryville came into the CECC last year as last chance qualifiers and took it all the way home to last one standing. Now this time they're inside of the Midwest Regional qualifiers. They're gonna, obviously, all 8 of the teams that we saw in bracket number in the playoffs today will all make to the regional. However, this is for seeding. So this is for your number 1 seed right here between Maryville and Northwood. And like we've been saying, Maryville the favorite here, but Northwood can make some noise here.
It just depends. It just depends on what Maryville had for lunch. And besides, they've had a chance to rest now. Their semifinal was done before we started the previous semifinal. So they've had a chance to maybe, get a little bit of rest their fingers, cool the hands off, maybe get something to eat. Maybe get a little extra gamer fuel in them. I don't know. I think that a little bit of separation of time between matches will probably benefit Maryville just a little bit. I think that for Northwood, though, it may work in the opposite direction. I think they may be even more fired up. They just went through 3 control maps, and they absolutely blistered through it. Yes, they were close, but they still won all 3 of them. They didn't lose a sub-map. But we're going to Antarctic Peninsula. This is a huge pick.
Penguins! That's all I will say. Penguins! Thank you to our observer, Cool Scoots. Oh, another dancing penguin down there. Woo! All right, I've got my fill of the Penguins. Now let's get our fill of the Overwatch gameplay. Northwood and Maryville, the grand finals of the Midwest qualifiers underway. As we see Maryville starting lineup at False Vision, Tree, Squid, Juby, Northwood. Same lineup they had last time, except Sam is out. Mikey's in, Devilwood also in as well here for Northwood. Slashes away with Boat. Boat has to back away for right now with that commanding shout. And now it's going to be Tree getting down Devilwood in the process with that bomb. Maryville's going to start us off here on the point. They're just being a little bit more aggressively, a little more quickly with Juby on that Lucio. Same thing with Vega, but this time the Saints start us off.
Well, I mean, Maryville has really practiced this composition down to have it all on lock. I mean, we're going to be very fortunate to see the highest level of this being played here, and just watch how they use the tempo of the teleporter. That's the big difference that you see from a lot of other teams other than this one. Boat with a big carnage taking down Vision.
Yeah, big slash away onto Vision. Boat's going to hang out for a little while, though, as it's going to be the Reinhardt now from Falls, just trying to slash away. Oh, that Bastion's going to pour out a lot of damage, and Boat doesn't have cover. Barely escapes with their lives, but Falls is going to use that Fire Strike to take down Vega. One support down, one to go, as Kamen, though, in the back line, though, Tree's going to take care of Kamen for the revenge right away. 30%, it's still going to look like Maryville keeps this.
Well, Mikey getting a pretty, yeah, Mikey gets a pretty big pick there, and that shield's not going to last very long. I don't know if he's got support there behind him or not, but the charge in is going to force the repositioning, and that's actually massive. And Squid will have window as they come back. I expect to see that come right out as soon as they get themselves on the point.
Yeah, you never not want that moment where you're kind of just sliding or dashing into a charge. That would kind of be a feels bad moment. As there's the application matrix right on cue, like you were saying. Bolt does take care of Tree. There's going to be Juby using the sound barrier at the same time. Decent air rush used from Northwood, but that's going to be pretty much it for this part. And the only ultimate left to go is a Dragon Blade, which Kamen has, but Kamen is out of it. There goes the Rampage. Rampage actually hit 3. Juby knocks them in to the tank of False. And now Squid and Juby falling also low. Nothing left there for Squid. Hang on to Juby. She's going to hold on here low. Now the artillery strike still available for Tree. Tree decides not to use it. Northwood gets the flip.
I mean, I like the patience here, and I think Tree knew they were going to be done and dusted there. So you hold on to. You're going to have 3 ultimates coming into this fight, right? You're going to have Shatter, and then the Deadeye as well coming in the back of it. So you've got tools here. You're at 80%. Basically, it's one fight and a little bit of resistance to clean it up. The big one for me, though, Vega going over to the Brigitte is going to provide a lot of frontline assistance to also keep Devilwood a little bit more sturdy in that back line. You can also throw a couple biscuit skin seeds away if they get really low, but the rally is really going to be a kicker here for them, try to get them over 50%.
Well, let's see right now as Maryville decides to use the same trap they used before. Hindered for a little while, but Tree is able to find Bolt in the process, and Bolt and Devilwood both go down. Clownman's going to slash away. Is this going to find anything? That Immortality Field holds on for a little while. There's the hindrance from the nade for right now. Isn't going to find anything. The Blade only finds the Immortality Field. It's back to the Saints.
51% is what they got. That's about what I expected out of them. They're going to have a 5-pack of ultimates getting ready to come up here. Juby, has a little bit of work to do there, but we have enough going in. Cowman over to the Reaper is going to be trying to deal with False and or Tree. This is going to be a very interesting engagement here as they try to get on top of False.
Guys, somebody needs to touch. Okay, they do right at the end there. Somebody does touch the Deadeye out. Is able to find Mikey. 5v3 situation. Boat's the only one left to go. Boat's not just going to run away here. 100-51 starting off here, and the Saints are off to a 1-0 start on Antarctic Peninsula.
I mean, this is great for them. This is great for Maryville. Maryville really just able to control the tempo and take the engagements on their terms. We saw some, good picks that came out from Northwood. I mean, Boat doing a pretty good job on the Junker Queen. Wouldn't expect to see that. And, running this Reinhardt and Vision not bringing the symmetry here. You're using the hindrance to really negate the commanding shout and the escapability of Boat in these really tight situations. So great recognition for them to know that, possibly a little bit of off-rolling here for Northwood, bringing the Boat Junker Queen in, and they're really taking this seriously.
Oh yeah, Maryville showing that they are taking this as no joke whatsoever. As corner locks here for the Labs, and about 20 seconds left to go. 151 on your previous map on Icebreaker. Now we go to the Labs, and we'll see if this makes much of a difference here. Maryville switches on over from Vision to the Torbjorn instead, like you were saying. Comment onto the Echo instead. The Echo's not going to have a lot of fun when you've got a Bastion and a Torbjorn looking right at you. And Cowman goes down, Mikey goes down, no DPS as Saints off to a very quick start here on Series 2.
I think they want this done, and this is a first. This is the best of 5, first of 3. So, I mean, control is where we're starting out here. These are pretty rapid map types, and I think they're just done with all the sass of the day, ready to get their number 1 seed going in to the CECC 24.
Let's see where they stand right now. I mean, Maryville's looking good. Like we said, Goliath here in Maryville. Northwood trying to make some noise in this case. Both taking down Vision. Both kind of playing this like a flank Junker Queen, which I absolutely love right now. Just kind of playing in their backline and causing some havoc, although that does leave the rest of the front open up. And Maryville's going to take right advantage of that. Takes the fire strike to Vega. Bolt does take down 3. Bolt is just taking care of them one by one. Too bad False and the rest of the team look behind him, and it's 33% and rolling for Maryville.
I mean, you've already got Squid with the window ready to go. And False is going to have a shatter. Oh my God, False is disgusting. And I mean, fellow Canadian, love to see it.
And right now, Maryville's halfway home to getting the map win as Vision takes care of both, so no more flanking Junker Queen in the process. And Northwood got the captive Sun from Vega, but Squid will also have an application matrix. False, though, about 20% up on Maryville's boat right now, so this shatter might also become very important later on. 66% are rolling. Maryville's got both of their support. Also Northwood running up on theirs as well. There's going to be the main instead from Cowman, and it's just going to be back and forth. Cowman already having to use the ice block. Trying to save them up. There's Sound Barrier. All systems go here for Maryville as Captain Sun comes out. Good Sound Barrier to counter that right away. False and Tree both getting their kills. And now it's just a runaway game here for Maryville, but not a lot of time left for Northwood. And Northwood's just going to basically run out of time to try to get this one back. As it's going to be the hammer come out. Oh, it's just going to be the hammer kill. Oh, no. Tree gets it before the hammer kill can happen. Earthshatter there anyways. Earthshatter's going to take care of business. And Maryville cleans up house. Not a speck of dust on the second point of lab. It'll be a 100-0, 151 win. Maryville's off and running in the series 1-0.
I mean, Septi's going to be happy that he got to see Junkrat, right?
Yep. I would say so.
I'm to see him.
Yep.
Man, Squid really just enabled everybody. The healing was too good. The immortality barrier replacements. I mean, this right here, exactly what they needed. I mean, just playing like a full unit, and they get the job done. So for Maryville, I mean, this is business as expected. Northwood, they showed some life, but like I said, there's a tier gap, and I know you guys were trying to build that up, and you know, maybe Northwood does have something else. Hopefully they don't go the route of the Illini and choose another control map, because I don't think it's going to go well for them if they do.
Yeah, so I mean, again, if you don't know the rules here, and I'll read it straight up again for all sections of the tournament. Initial map will always be control, and then everything afterwards is always chosen by the team that lost the previous map. But it's no longer a set map. It's no longer set game modes that you will see. It is the teams can pick the game mode. The teams can pick the map so long as it's in the pool. And the same game mode may not be chosen more than 3 times in a single match. We saw this last match with the Illini where they picked all 3 maps on control, which did not work out in their favor. They would go 0-3 against Northwood. But Billy, this time around, like you were saying, the odds of this being control coming up are very, very low, you would think.
One would think. I'm actually looking at our chat right now, because I'm expecting the unexpected here. If I am Northwood, honestly, I would probably go to hybrid, just to pull something different out. Allow yourself to get your feet underneath you, not have to throw yourself at the point too. That's another thing that, you know, I think the control is, because we saw so much of it, you have to throw yourself at the point just to try and recapture it. The other map types other than Flashpoint, you know, you have time to set up strategy. You have time to set up where you're going to make your stand, or, you know, start your attack from. So I think that, you know, you can be a little bit more cerebral in the other map types other than Flashpoint. Even Flashpoint has a little bit more cerebration to it. So for the teams coming in, I mean, we are now going to go to Suravasa. So we'll see Market first. We'll always start on Market here in Suravasa. I like this pick. It's still similar to Control, like I said, but it offers a lot more flexibility. It gives you a little bit more time. It's not so damn hard to get wrestle control, because you can actually disengage and go towards another Flashpoint if you decide that that's the move that you want to make.
Yeah, and like we were talking about earlier on in the broadcast as well, Suravas is not a bad pick here either if you want to try to level the playing field, especially when you pretty much have the same amount of time playing each one. Yes, everybody else has played their game mode from the same point, but now everybody's playing this new game mode at the same rate. Vision's already taking down Vega. Maraville staying with this Torbjorn Bastion combination. It's working out for them so far. Mikey moves on over, by the way, to a Lucio instead, which puts Vega on side of the Sojourn right now instead onto the DPS. So a little bit of a swap coming out from Northwood. Meanwhile, Tree gets down Devilwood. It's going to be the first flip to the Saints.
I mean, exactly what they needed. I mean, here comes the late stagger kill. So this is going to be at least 40% gained by Maryville here in just the first capture. And I mean, the ult charges here for Squid already above 50%. That's disgusting. So we'll see. We'll see what Northwood can do here. It's all about Tree getting set up in the right positions as far as the Bastion coming through. So it looks like we've got a call for a pause coming in from Northwood. So maybe somebody DC'd or have lost internet, but we'll see. I mean, just early out the gate, Vision on yet another hero gets the headshot kill onto Vega, and it's done before it even starts.
Yeah, I think a lot of times in these flashpoint maps, I think a lot of teams will agree that speed is going to be the key because the spawn point stays the same, but it goes throughout the entire. It's like it's one spawn room, 5 bracket opportunities. Like it brackets out to 5 different points. So really, the name of the game is speed on how fast you can get there. Obviously, first point will always start off on market, but you never know where it could go after that. It'll randomize every single time. So, I mean, the replayability is pretty interesting to find out where you're going to go next. But, I mean, the composition so far that we've seen from this Maryville team, obviously the Bastion and the Torbjorn so far. I mean, what do you want to see from Northwood here? Because, I mean, Northwood's going to stick. Rather, they're going to have Kamen go onto the Widowmaker instead in this case. But the unpause comes out, and Maryville already at 40%, like you were saying.
I think that the Hanzo honestly is a better player here because you've got Vega playing on the Sojourn. I think that bringing the Hanzo out here would be better. But hey, I mean, if Kalman hits the shots, I can't say nay to it.
Kalman hit a shot already onto Squid, so Juby's the only one left to go. He's able to avenge that right away, though, as Mikey goes down. So down to a 4v4 situation. Falls does take care of Vega. Kalman's got to run. They're live, has to hook up, but Paul says, nah, you're not going anywhere. 85%, this is basically going to go to the Saints here in this case, and we're going to wait for the next point to appear.
Vega swapping over to the Genji now, Kalman out on the Junkrat, so maybe they want this just to be done. maybe they're just going to take their number 2 seeding and go. I mean, they fought hard on the first point, but now here in Flashpoint, it's starting to become a little bit mystery heroes.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit of swap for swap here. Mikey does go on, or Mikey gets a kill onto Squid, and Vega gets a kill on the Vision as well. I mean, that's huge to get rid of a DPS and a healer at the same time. Boss is going to move on over, try to move on, or actually moves away from the next flashpoint. Actually, he's going to try to maybe spawn keep them a little bit? No, I mean, application matrix used in spawn. I mean, this is kind of an interesting thing going on right now. I mean, next flashpoint's already appeared, and yet it's going to just be Tree just kind of sitting down here. Oh, wait. Guys? Okay, Kamen did not know where the Bastion was. And Tree's just kind of hanging out. Tree's just kind of chilling.
What? The hammer kill? How do you die there, Vega? To a static Torbjorn? Okay.
Yep.
Okay, yeah. I mean, he looks how I feel right now, and Squid is over onto the Moira, so they did let out the sound barrier here. Juby's going to be gone. Are we just playing fun for now? Okay.
I think they're just. I think Tree's just chilling. I mean, I think Northwood wants to group up, but Northwood gets no chance to group up whatsoever. And yeah, I mean, Vega's got vision in the process, but I think our observer's just looking at the things going on here. Oh, and Tree goes down while sitting down. Mikey just gonna go right at Tree and says hello. And yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a fight here in the ruins as that's our next flashpoint already. The flashpoint that's up to 70%. There's the Reaper from Cowman, but Squid's going to take care of it, and Maryville's probably going to get the second point pretty easily as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think they've all but give it up now. This is just impressive here for Maryville. Well, they're going to do the best they can. They do get a kill there on Division. But, I mean, any sense of strategy, they're just going for picks right now. I mean, strategy has gone out the door. And we'll see what happens here. I mean, Devilwood's going to bring out the Mercy to give it. And, I mean, that's a 2-0 flashpoint lead here to Maryville as they approach the next, possibly final flashpoint.
Yep, so the next flashpoint coming up here already appears in a couple of seconds as Maryville's taken both Market and Ruins 100 to nothing. So the next flashpoint coming up is going to be the Temple as the Symmetra of Tree already starts to set up here. Vision and Tree falling oh so low. Both taking care of them as Boat is on the Doomfist right now. Has the Meteor Strike available. Mikey falling oh so low in this Lucio v Lucio battle. But both taking care of Juby in the process. Flashpoint unlocked. Northwood looking for their first percentage point here on this map. And it looks like they may very well do so as the Symmetra's in a lot of trouble. Here just punches away and it'll be Northwood getting their first percentages here on Surabasa.
I mean, finally, something positive here happening for Northwood. But I don't know how long it's going to last. I mean, you've got the flip now coming through for Maryville. They've got the Coalescence. They've got all the killing they need there. And, I mean, honestly, Vision is just being absolutely disgusting on this Torbjorn. Bye-bye.
Yep, bye-bye. Coalescence just going to run everybody over as Squid takes care of Devilwood in the air, plus Juby getting the final blow onto Vega, and this is just a little bit too scattered. Northwood does see 14% for their flashpoint, but it's back to Maryville in the process.
I mean, this should pretty much do it.
Vega calling for Juby.
Yes, calling for Juby. I don't think they're gonna give in to that. But I mean, you do have an artillery strike here for Vega. Cass coming out here for Tree. Haven't seen that for a while.
Yeah, haven't seen that, but now you're going to have comment on the May as well, 73%. I mean, the technicality here is the regroup. Maryville's just kind of chilling on this point. There is a May that's in the back line right now. Cowman is behind this entire team. They're not even playing for the flashpoint as in this case. I mean, they've got 2 kills, but the May's going to be the only one to touch here. And if they want to play for this flashpoint, that May's got to touch here, which they will. Goes almost immediately, just dives right in, has the ice block still available to them. It's going to be the Reinhardt and the Moira versus 3 people, including a Valkyrie Devilwood in the process. Both does take care of Squid. It's just the Reinhardt left to go on point. And Northwood will see some more percentage points here on the Temple.
I mean, okay. I think they're just ready to be out, to be honest. I think they're pretty much done. And Callan throws themselves off there, so that's just going to be repositioning themselves to get possibly a better opportunity to get to the next flashpoint. But I mean, Squid getting the work done. He's going to have the heals there. He's going to be able to take care, I believe, of Mikey here. No, gets away.
What is going on here? Okay, wait. Hold on. What is this Bastion of Vega is just falling around the team of Maryville right now. Do you have any idea what we're watching? I have no clue.
He's ticked off at Juby. He just wants Juby.
He just wants Juby. I mean, they're letting him have it. And 99% to 57%. Maryville takes this to overtime. Survas is going to wrap up here. 99-57, your final score on the Temple. That's, or rather, I should say, on this last flashpoint here. Temple's taken, Market's taken, Ruins is taken. 3-0 on Survasa, meaning the Maryville Saints are up 2-0.
Play of the game.
Well, we will see. We'll see what happens here as we head into our third map type. We'll get that relatively soon, because I'm pretty sure that the Northwood is just going to accept their second place seeding here, moving into the latter stages. But you hate to see it. You hate to see it. You hate to see it. I would expect more, but well, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. So all right. So well, Maryville and Northwood will go one more time here. They pretty much accepted fate on Survasa earlier on, so Survasa goes the way of Maryville. Northwood drops on the map number 1 as well on Antarctic Peninsula. So both teams knowing that they're 1-2 here in the regional that comes up very soon. That date's still to be determined, but still, I mean, both of these guys knowing up, and maybe it's a wait and see sort of a thing, because the next patch might come out very soon as well. So maybe it's a wait and see until we get to the next regional, anyways.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how this actually goes down. So hopefully the map type will come in quickly, and that way we can figure out what's going on, and see if we just go ahead and end this in a 3-0 route as expected. And we'll have a chance to look at the other 8 teams that will have qualified for that regional later on. So as it stands, I mean, unless Northwood really decides to pull themselves up by the bootstraps and take this seriously, I expect we'd be out of here probably the next 10 minutes.
Maybe it'll be 10 minutes, depending on like you said, depending on the map type. If we go hybrid, it'll probably be 6, I would say. I mean, if we go down that route. But anyways, we'll get to see what Maryville, or rather, I should say, what Northwood decides to pull out in the process here as we get set for the next game mode here. And The next thing that's going to go on, by the way, if you're just joining us, Maryville Northwood playing for the #1 seed right now for the Midwest Regional. Maryville right now up 2-0, 151 and 100-0 on Antarctic Peninsula. Siravasa goes all their way, getting 2 of the maps on Market and Ruins 100-0. Meanwhile, though, for those that want to watch more of the qualifier action coming up later on, we'll have Rocket League finals coming up later on today here for the Midwest. And don't forget, next weekend, it will be the East qualifier, I should say, coming up between September 30th and October 1st. So next weekend will be that East one. So we get to watch more teams from the East. I'm expecting, obviously, Fisher to be there as they were last season as well in the East Regional. Pretty much the same schedule that they were on last time. So we'll probably see Fisher. I'm assuming we'll see different teams up on the Ochre rankings as well. So that'll be pretty fun to watch the East qualifiers go down again next weekend, September 30th to October 1st. Just awaiting the next map here for the Overwatch side as we get ready to go for map number 3 between Maryville and Northwood, the Saints and the Timberwolves. Almost set and almost ready to go. And so, I mean, Billy, what more is there to say about Maryville at this point? Because it looks like, we've said it all time. Maryville is Goliath at this point, and pretty much from what we've seen so far, no Davids to be seen.
No, not at all. And I expected a little bit more out of Northwood, I guess. I guess they're happy with the 2 seed going into the qualifier, so that, they've just basically checked out. I think they did have the power to at least take a single map.
I thought so as well.
At least one. So, it kind of disappointing, but I get it. They're college students. They probably have classes coming up on Monday, and, maybe want to get out and do something for the rest of the weekend that they've been occupied with their video games. So, it is what it is. We'll see how this actually plays out when we do finally get our map type in. They're taking a very long time to get it out here. And I'm not sure what the squabble
would be. They're most likely just chatting in the all chat. They're most likely just typing in lobby chat right now, as just trying to figure out what next map we're playing here. So we're going to go to Rocket League after this, hope to see where those teams will stand. And I will pull up some updates here in the process. Meanwhile, though, Overwatch Collegiate rankings might look a little bit different here very soon, as Maryville, #1 so far, 6-0. But I do want to point out that we'll talk about the other teams in the Yorker rankings, because I know you're a part of the committee that's on there right now. But how does Boise State look, Billy? Because Boise State so far, at least in the Overwatch Collegiate homecomings that we've seen, 6-0, a perfect 18-0 map record. The assumption is Boise State's going to move up.
Well, we'll give you a second. I'll actually pull up what I have Boise State ranked as, because I moved them up before this weekend. The new rankings came out Saturday morning, and then I found out that they took down Northwood. So for me, let's see, I had Boise State number 6 in my preseason ranking, and then they went up to number 5, number 5 in my ranking for this last week. Personally, you know what? I've got Northwood at number 2. Based upon what I'm seeing right now, I don't see why they wouldn't be number 2 still. They're just done with it. So we'll see how it is. I can actually hear. I think I hear Farah shooting something on a control center. I swear I hear it.
Yeah, well, we got Guardians coming up here. So Guardians on Lijiang Tower will be the next map. Lijiang Tower, the selection from Northwood here, and Maryville's going to bring out the Symmetra. Meanwhile, no Faros to talk about in this case. Northwood's going to pull out, and everybody's basically swapped around. Devilwood's onto a tank now. Vega's onto a DPS. Both onto Lucio instead. I mean, this is just basically rouletting everybody's roles except for Maryville. Northwood's just kind of played roulette, if you will, with their roles. Everybody switched. Maryville keeps it the same. Tree's got a hammer kill. That will tell you the story of this series so far. Tree's got a hammer kill on the Calmet, and they start us off.
I mean, I'm surprised we haven't seen Keegan here. Keegan is another one of the tier 3, tier 2 players that we saw battle with the likes of Chopper, the likes of Boat. So, I mean, lots of good collegiate representation here that we saw in the tier 2, tier 3 scene as well. So, I mean, lots of good stuff here, and they know that there's a teleporter coming out with Vega. What are you doing?
Big is just having fun a little bit. Maybe he's just waiting for somebody to move out of spawn right now. Vega, though, is going to... Oh, boy, and this is going to be the audio out for right now. And there's going to be the Amplification Matrix already for Squid. Wow. Squid's already got the Amp Matrix. It's going to take down Boat. We'll take down Mikey in the process. And right now, I think Maraville just played the showcase game.
What?
Earth Shatter from... Oh, boy. Earth Shatter from Devilwood doesn't find anything. And, yep. Showcase match here, if you will, for Maraville at this point, because they've found more kills, and Northwood, I believe, has yet to find their first kill.
I think you're right. I think you're right. I mean, what a good time to have some practice.
Yeah, it might be scrims at this point, maybe? I'm not too sure. Maybe
This is pugs.
Yeah. It might look like pugs at this point. Oh, there it is, though. Devilwood's got a charge onto Juby and comments onto the Zenyatta now, which we have not seen yet today. And now there's going to be a stick. Too bad Immortality Field was still up. Mikey's going to take care of business, though. And, yeah, Northwood's going to get percentage here on the Gardens.
Well, I mean, for now.
For now, or maybe not. I mean,
yeah.
Oh, okay, wait a minute now. Maybe I spoke a little bit too soon. Yep, I did. They keep it. Wow.
I mean, they've got tools now as well. They got the photon barrier trees on the May, which I haven't seen since around the first time that we saw Tree come into the contenders ecosystem. Back when May was still a force to be reckoned with. So we'll see how this actually goes out.
Yeah, there's the barrier that's going to come out. Devilwood and both get their kills. However, there's going to be somebody on the point for right now. Pedal lifts up, but all for nothing. It might look like Northwood's got their first chance at percentages, and yes, they will get their first chance at percentages here on the Garden.
Well, I mean, Mikey's trying to get work done. I don't know if False is going to get out. Yeah, False will be fine getting out here. And well, Mikey's trying to show their prowess on the Tracer. Captain Sun ready to go for Juby.
Yep, Sound Barrier. Boat is hanging on the edge here. Boat's just trying to get back up to the rest of its team. In the process, though, Boat's got hit by a turret. And King and Tree both finding 3 kills total. Points going to flip. Captive Sun's not even going to matter. It's going to be a team kill here. Team White and Maraville 100% away from sweeping the series and taking the #1 seed.
Well, I mean, we'll see how it comes out. The late Sound Barrier doesn't really matter. I mean, I'm hoping that it's Control Center just for yours and mine enjoyment. If it's Night Market, I may have to just go. Oh, no, I'm gonna put my head in my chili pot. Yeah, this is going to be another round of Overwatch here coming in. But I mean, for Maryville, I mean, they're pretty much just going to stamp their authority here. I like the fact that at least that they're playing the same roles here, and taking it as seriously as they need to, just to ensure everything is good. I mean, this is just more practice for them, and they're treating it like an official as it is.
Yep, so the question now becomes, can Northwood get something out of this? Because now Calman onto the Ana. You're going to have an Ana-Lucio combination. I don't think I've seen an Ana-Lucio in a long time, it feels like. Because it's mainly, I mean, we've seen Lifeweaver, we've seen Kiriko. It's been a long time since I've seen this Ana-Lucio come out. But anyways, False is going to charge into the back line, only for Devilwood to kind of just kind of back off for a little while. First point is going to go to Maraville, who's got control of this to start. It kind of seems like Northwood's kind of just scattered all over the place here, and Devilwood's going to go right up against this Reinhardt for right now, who TV's back to team. False takes care of Comment, and his first split to the Saints.
Not quite yet. We're trying to get there. Oh, gosh.
Oh, okay. He's okay with this. He's okay with this.
Yeah, I mean, sure. I mean, you get 2 into the boot, and then you get the extra kills on the back. So, you know what? Just make it nice and painless. Have some fun here, and get your job done, and go away with your ratings and with your seeding coming up for the in-person qualifier. I believe that the Midwest is going to be in-person this year.
Yep, so we'll see where that goes again. Stay tuned for some announcements on the regional happening later on. Meanwhile, again, if you're joining us for the next time, next East Qualifier. Next weekend, we'll have the East Qualifier coming up Saturday, Sunday. Don't want to miss out on that. Juby and King both getting their kills. Vega's got one to counter off on Juby in the process. As Barrier once again comes up, King brings that out, and it's going to be, again, Maraville just holding on to this and waiting 50% away from that #1 seed.
Well, I mean, this is what they need to do, and, well, I don't know. You're in trouble, Mikey. King actually gets taken out. And you're going to have a pulse bomb here for Mikey at 57% and climbing. False will have Shatter coming into this fight, but Mikey, I think, can really get a lot done with this Shatter. Oh, my God.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, that Shatter was Yeah, that shatter was there. That shatter did happen. Kings also got Bone and Vega in the background. Vega and Bone, by the way, both were in the spawns looking to camp. I mean, looking to spawn camp, and Devilwood's got 2 in the process. Falls, drops off the map, and this is going to be a win for Northwood. They'll see their first percentages here.
Okay. Well, okay, Devilwood.
All right, Devilwood, all right.
On here. All right. A little bit of interesting tech coming out there, and well, False is going to match them. So Wrecking Ball v Wrecking Ball here.
Wow, okay, Vega used the EMP onto Juby and Juby only, so Juby's just going to run away. Has the ability to use Samir now. Invisible Coalescence from Squid, if you can't tell already, but there is a Coalescence being used. False does take care of Calvin in the process, so this is looking to clean up house. Vega does take care of Juby in the back line. Juby gone again, and Devilwood is popping off of this Wrecking Ball, mind you. I mean, the Saints are going to, the Saints do flip the point in the process. It's going to be the Bastion that's causing so much damage. Oh, Mikey Falls also low with no rewind either. Devilwood does take care of King, and Northwood may flip this back in the process here.
Well, I mean,
or maybe not.
Just for yeah, I don't think so.
Nope.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they should get it here. It's at 98% counting. False is going to actually take the burst down. This is actually looking not too good for Northwood. Just let it go. Much like Elsa, just let it go.
Yep. False bomb goes a little bit wide of the mark, 99%. There's the artillery coming out here from, or configuration artillery from the Bastion. King's just going all over the place with this, and it's going to go right to the spawn. Too bad Lifeweaver can dash away from that for a little while here. Devilwood will go off the map. Maryville's looking to clean up house, and Tree looking for a hammer kill to end things all off. They'll have one on point. It's just going to be Vega of the Sombra. Maryville is done and dusted, and so done and dusted onto Northwood. They will get the sweep, and they will get the #1 seed going into the regional, I should say. So the Midwest regional looks like this: Maryville #1, Northwood #2.
Excellent work. King gets in some playtime too. Always good to get your bench players in here as well. Kind of took a seat behind Tree when they came here, so good stuff from them. But I mean, pretty comprehensive. I think that Northwood just went ahead and accepted their #2 seeding going into the Midwest Regional, and then we'll see what comes on up after that. But we're going to go ahead and get out of here, Keegan, because we do have Rocket League waiting for us. We had to skip over the Valorant to get this in here.
Yep.
So you know what? We got Tiny Shiny and we got Whoops. Is it Whoops coming in?
Tiny Shiny will come in along with Catnator. So Cat and Tiny on the other side of this. Meanwhile, we'll bring Septilence back in now to kind of talk about this last match, and he'll transition us right to Rocket League afterwards. Sep 3-0. Interesting series.
Listen, I'll keep it 100. Sometimes you go up against a team as good as Maryville, and you lose on your own terms because whatever. Okay, we've all seen it before. We've all been there. I'm not gonna say whatever Northwood can do, whatever they do. They've got other things to do. That's how they want to play it. So be it. But I get it. Even if you're 2nd seed to Maryville, even if you're 9th seed to Maryville, you're losing to Maryville. And they said, hey, we'll do it ourselves, and we'll feel a little bit better about it. But so be it. I do want to say Maryville, my hat off to them. That it could have been very easy for them to kind of stop, take their foot off the gas, kind of walk away with it. But instead, they played through, they played well, and it was honestly entertaining to watch on the side of Maryville. I was having a good time spectating. But going into the future, you guys got to talk about this a little bit during the break, and just before I begin to transition us to Rocket League, I'd love to hear from you guys. 1 or 2 teams off the dome, you're thinking somebody's going out to snipe Maryville, and I'm going to steal the easiest answer. I'm going to say Boise State. So what do you guys think otherwise? Who's going after Maryville's crown just anywhere in the regions?
I think Fisher has.
Yeah, there you go.
I think Fisher Whips has the best opportunity to do it because they have competed against them in contenders. The Fisher Whips team is Wisp.
Yeah.
So I think they have the best opportunity to take the crown off their heads. And I think that the team behind that, honestly, if Claire, St. Clair, the Canadian team, if they can really nail down their synergy, they are a dark horse. They're going to go far at the CEC. They're going to go far at Homecoming too. Yeah. Oh, I'm very excited to see what this Canadian team can do.
Yeah, St. Clair, one of only 6 teams left undefeated in the Homecoming right now. So I mean, they are going not only above but beyond as well. Clutch, on the side of you, brother, anything you're looking at, any teams we didn't reference yet?
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously one of the six. I'll name all of you the six if you don't know.
Let's run
So
it. Let's
far,
hear it.
BSC Bobcats looking very good. Brian and Stratton 6-0, 18-6 on the map records. You've also got, I mean, you were talking about Fisher. How about Fisher Navy? That 18-1, like you were saying earlier. Maryville also 6-0. Bellevue 6-0 right now as well in the homecoming, 18-3 map record. And the only other undefeated left in the homecoming is Northwood. And Northwood again couldn't get off to a win on Maryville. But hey, this was just the qualifier. You can regroup, go for the regional. Remember, the regional was only one spot, so that's where it's going to get a little more serious here because it's only one spot headed to the CECC from the Midwest, and then otherwise your only other shot is the last chance qualifier. That's it. You've only got two shots at this, except if you're playing one of the conferences that will go up as well. So really for Northwood, I think the more serious thing is going to be coming up to this is going to really be coming up for the regional. But other than that, Boise State undefeated, Fisher undefeated, Bellevue undefeated. You're talking about St. Clair. Billy St. Clair is undefeated as well. Brian and Stratton undefeated. I mean, there's a few dark horses here that you may not have heard the names of, but you will hear them in the future.
Those names are going to be all over the CECC, all over collegiate esports as a whole, and I'm excited to see what they can do. But thank both of you so much for joining us, for giving us fantastic commentary, for kicking butt, taking names, as you always do. And I know that I, as well as I'm sure many of our viewers and teams, are very excited to see you guys down the line. So thank you so much for joining us.
All right. Thank you, Sept, and thank you to my partner, Billy. Thanks to everybody back in the studio as well. And so, I mean, Sept, we got Rocket League up next, and I can't wait for Catinator Tiny Shiny to take us away after this.
I am over the moon. Thank you two again. And folks, like Clutch mentioned there, we are going to be jumping into Rocket League in just a little while here, and I'm particularly eager with that because as we're going to be shifting from those two to Cat and Tiny Shiny as they reference, I get to fill you guys in a little bit more. Am I going to be reading a couple of things off my monitor? Yes, okay, we all do it sometimes. I can't memorize all this. There's a lot of teams. There's actually the most Rocket League teams. So I'm fully just going to kind of look at these notes and tell you guys who's coming into the grand finals. So we're looking at Illinois State University, and I'm trying to click to see which one, but of course it won't load now. So it's, ISU. It's just Illinois State University. It's Redbird, very talented Rocket League program, one that we are very familiar with, against Maryville, another very popular, very familiar Rocket League team. Now, I do want to note that Northwood had two teams going into the semifinals. 0 of them left the semifinals. So now we've got a bit of a shakeup. Our top dog isn't there what we're expecting. We said Maryville, they're the defending champions for Overwatch right now. Northwood, to my knowledge, and I'm pretty sure I'm correct, I was there after all, is the Rocket League defending champion for the CECC, and they don't get to defend it much longer as things seem to be going right now. So there is some tea on the table, and it is, by golly, piping hot in terms of what is going on in the world of Rocket League. And we know that how Valorant, as Billy and Clutch mentioned, unfortunately is not able to happen due to time constraints of one of the teams. I will refresh this page right now to make sure I'm giving you guys the most accurate information. The top 4, to my knowledge. Okay, no, we're all the way down to the victor, but I'll start with the top 4 because we've got a little bit of time. We can hang out together, right? So it was Northwood University versus the Indiana Hoosiers. I live in the area of Indiana University, so to see them do that well, to see them overperform, is actually very exciting for me. Great program and a great team as well. And then in the lower portion, actually still upper bracket, but the other teams is Columbia College Premier and Maryville University. So a lot of familiar names. We're hearing Northwood, we're hearing Maryville. We're seeing them everywhere because those are the schools that are really putting their all into their esports programs, and it is paying off in dividends. Some of the leading forces in the collegiate space. And I'm going to stop myself there because I can talk about collegiate esports literally forever. I think anyone that knows me knows that, so I won't get into that whole tangent unless I really have the space to do so. But the important note is that the grand finalists heading into what would be that regional were Maryville and Northwood. And Maryville wins. Great job, Maryville. Northwood's the defending champions. So Maryville takes them down a peg just a bit. So now looking into this evening, Maryville is now 1-0, 2-0, 3-0 on Northwood. So this is a bit of a clean house. And I've told you guys, Billy and Clutch, they referenced it so many times, that this Midwestern section, I mean, I'm a boy from the Midwest, born and raised. The only thing we can do out here is play video games. That's all we've got going on. My whole life is video games. I mean, a whole shelf behind me dedicated to video game things because it's all we do out here. And the Midwest, I think, has a really this is probably a hot take. It's very realistically, I think, the hardest region to be in collegiate esports. I think you are looking at so many programs and so many schools. Northwood, Redbird is out here. Maryville is out here. There's so many schools out here. Indiana University. Maybe I'm playing favorites. Maybe I'm not. But all things considered, they're an up-and-coming program. They're one of the newer schools, and not only are they showing up, but they're really starting to show off. I think I'm just biased. I think I just love collegiate esports. I love being here. I think it's so much fun, and I hope you guys love it as well. I am going to go ahead and kind of throw it to a break here, give our team a little bit of time to get Rocket League ready, get the players a little bit of time to get in lobby, and get to chat with our casters a little bit before we come back to being live. So don't go anywhere, folks. Use this break. Maybe get some water, get a snack, walk your dog. Don't have one? Adopt a dog. Either way, we'll see you right back here with some more CECC Midwest in just a couple of minutes.
We're going off here with the CECC interviews for the Midwest qualifiers. Clutchy joining you, and alongside with me from the Wichita State University Shockers, Thomas Fleming, aka TW, captain of the Overwatch 2 team. And Thomas, thank you very much for joining us. I want to start off with this, where the Overwatch Collegiate Homecoming happening at the exact same time right now. Your guys' record right now sitting at 500 or 2-2 after wins in the first 2 rounds against Cal State Fullerton and NJIT recently, having losses against Washington and Western Michigan. But yeah, I mean, you do get 2 losses, but those 2 wins become very important to you guys as well. Do you feel like those 2 wins kind of give you a little bit of momentum going into this qualifier at all?
Yeah, I think those first 2 wins we had were really good. I think we played really well that first week. That second week, I think that was a little on us. Our first opponent, though, is definitely a very good team, and I think if we get that kind of mental thing figured out, we should be rolling.
Now, describe to me that mental block a little bit, because I know that does happen to a few teams where maybe it's a term of feeling down a little bit, or maybe not feeling confident enough. I mean, what needs to happen there for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, so the main issue I think for us is just the those 2 games back to back, and you don't really get a lot of time to reset with this homecoming thing. And so I've just been working with my players and trying to get them to figure out what they need to do personally so they can reset. Forget about the last match. Remember the important things, but forget about every individual detail and just be ready to go going into that second one.
Yeah, it's always important to be ready to go for the next match here. So actually, let's go on here, because moving on from that, now it's the mid-season patch. Has been out for 2 weeks now, exactly 2 weeks, where you have different things, including Ash changes, Orisa changes, Zarya changes, and all of that as well. But with that happening 2 weeks ago, maybe that kind of shifts the way you look at your composition, shifts kind of the way you kind of play your game. So, I mean, with that comp only having been 2 weeks release, or maybe the patch coming out 2 weeks, I should say, do you guys feel confident at all in what you're running, or confident that what you have is going to work here in the CECC qualifiers?
I think so. I think I'm not sure that patch changed as much as some people think. Um, but I think we're pretty confident in what we want to do, and we're gonna go in and try to play our game and not try to conform to what everyone else thinks.
So I'm assuming that you're going to go completely off meta here. I'm
No,
assuming we're
no,
going to see Wrecking Ball, right? No, no.
not quite. Um, I think some of the Zarya changes are a little overhyped. I don't think she actually does as much as
Oh.
people think.
All right. Well, I guess we'll get to see what you guys pull out. Nothing. I know you guys don't want to give away too much right before we hit the qualifiers itself, so we'll leave that to your own devices there. But let me go into that, because I mean, you guys have that composition, and you guys get a little bit more practice. Start your schedule out on social media. You get a little bit more games coming up, but also this Highland CC LAN that's coming up for you guys as well. That comes up, I believe, on
Tomorrow.
Saturday. So, or actually, sorry, excuse me, tomorrow.
Yeah.
You're right. So, do you feel like that'll be kind of like a good final call before we hit the qualifier?
It will definitely be a good mental thing, like a good, maybe, I don't want to say ego boost, because we're not sure we're gonna win it. We're trying to, we're gonna respect our competition, but I think it'll put us in the right mindset for going into CECC.
Yeah, and so let's see if it does. And we'll go into the tournament here. Speaking of CECC, we'll go into that in just a couple of moments here, talking with TW, the captain from Overwatch 2 team at Wichita State University. So let's go back here for not just your team, but for your program in general. Reading up on your website, in fall of 2022, the esports program started this great thing, started offering scholarships to the entire program. So, I mean, talk to me, for you as a player, for you as kind of a student, tell me how big that is for your program, and really how that kind of helps out your program for the future.
Yeah, I mean, we've really leveled up in the past couple of years. When I started, there was substantial teams, and some had pretty good results, but we've changed what kind of department we're under at our university, and that's brought more funding that caused the scholarships. We have a better space on campus now, and our presence locally has increased quite a lot.
Yeah, tell me about that presence actually, because you say it's increased a lot. I mean, what has been not only like you said you get increased funding. Tell me what I mean. You guys have had fundraisers as well. Tell me what the like kind of the community reaction has been like the community response has been like to you guys having been stepped up as this program.
Yeah, I mean, we really we're lucky that we have a very supportive community on campus and also just in the greater Wichita area. I mean, we try to do a lot with the local high schools, and they've became, on our side, they're a great farm for us. There's a lot of good esports teams at, I mean, all the high schools in Wichita and the surrounding cities. But on the reverse of that, we've also been able to contribute to them and help build up this program that's good for these high schoolers too.
Yeah, and I mean, you talk about building up the high schoolers. I mean, the high schoolers are obviously coming, trying to get up into the college program as well. What do you guys, I mean,
CECC Midwest 2023-2024 edition. Once again, I hope you're not sick of me yet because we are doubling down. I am no longer just your host, Septilence, but I am also temporarily your Rocket League caster, Septilence, and I am joined by my good friend, Tiny Shiny. Shiny, how has your day been today?
Oh, it's been absolutely wonderful. I have been literally waiting for 3 hours to get ready to cast this. I mean, this is such a great matchup. We have Illinois State taking on Maryville University. I mean, these are some of the best collegiate Rocket League teams out there, Septilence, all looking for the same thing, to come away with the title for this Midwestern qualifier and, of course, gain some of this good seeding heading forwards.
Yes, good seeding is what it is all about at the end of the day, like those bragging rights as well. But both these schools come in with a bit of, perhaps I avoid the word legacy, but a bit of a shakeup as well. We know these are two very talented programs. We know Redbird is looking for a win right now. I hate to say it, but it's honestly where we're at. The program is being deconstructed, and they're rebuilding in a lot of ways, trying to start fresh. And hopefully, this can be the fresh start that team is looking for. But Maryville almost instantaneously finds that first goal. It's going to be falling just short as Stealth steals it away. And Maryville, nothing on the board quite yet, Shiny, but what a way to kick us off. Way to keep us on our toes.
Not just us, but ISU as well. I mean, that was so close to just standing on the goal line, Septilence. You do not want that to happen right off the bat, and you need to get that change of pace starting to move, because right now, it's all of the shots going the way of Maryville in this first 30 seconds.
Maryville definitely feeling good and feeling dominant, something we've seen from them pretty much all day today. We saw it in Overwatch. It happened off stream on Val, and it's not dominant in terms of statistics yet, but Maryville in terms of ball control and aggression, dominance has been the name of the game. Calyx goes for some miracles and doesn't pull out much, but a defensive play is all they need in a moment like that. Knight sends it up. It's a bit of a slow burn fall, backline into Stealth, and almost no momentum on the ball in this opening corner. Tiny, I love Rocket League Game 1s, especially when we're in a best of 5, because there's so much but so little on the table right now. Losing Game 1 is never the end of the world, and it just gives your team an opportunity to understand your opponent and the playstyle they want to bring to the table. Game 1 is almost just an exaggerated learning experience.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is all about getting to know your opponent, understand the patterns that they're having in their rotations, their commits, their defense, and then eventually you'll come back in games 2, 3, and onwards to start to understand that and either counterplay or find something else that you can do to break through the wall that they're attempting to set up. And I mean, right now we're still in that learning phase. Maryville going for the top off, the top, Calyx just too high, backing out to the corner here, and Septilence and Maryville keeping themselves plenty of offensive room to work here.
Yes. I mean, it has just been a 2.5 minutes of close but no cigar over and over. These teams are minuscule moments away from being able to find that score, but a fraction of a change, of a misinput, of an off angle just disrupts that goal time and time again, and nobody puts a point down yet. Now, these are two of the more decorated teams probably across the country as a whole, certainly some of the most recognizable, and I wonder if that is kind of the caliber of play we're at right now. It feels like, oh, they're barely missing, but instead it's actually they're barely defending. We're seeing this clean 50-50, this incredible back and forth, and what a great example in that moment as Calyx and CG go bumper to bumper jumper, and the ball loses all momentum. No goal for Maryville because ISU is playing at their speed. Neither of these teams are playing catch-up right now, Tiny. It is just a beautiful back and forth between two incredibly talented teams.
And that's all you need. You don't even, at this point in the game, you still have over 2 minutes to work with. You don't need to be doing all of this crazy stuff and trying to make something happen. I mean, regardless of these teams, they are so incredibly talented. But like you mentioned, they are young. There's 3 freshman players on all of these squads. And I mean, Illinois State, none of them have played together prior to this point. They're in this process of rebuilding their entire roster to come up. They played in several competitions this year. They got in the semifinals, I think, where they were set to face Northwood Blue, which ended up being a forfeit. They find themselves here in the finals, and hey, you're given an opportunity such as that, you need to start rolling with that as the time begins to tick down.
Yeah, when you're given those opportunities, you've got to run with them. And what a great learning experience to be a part of the team. This is one of the largest stages in North American collegiate esports, is the CECC. So to come into this and to find these openings, to find this synergy and find this adaptation of play is a miracle. And I think this is an extra great place to do it because we've talked about this already. What you're looking for is just seeding right now. Winning or losing isn't a make or break for this team as often as we're going to be seeing in nearly any other tournament they're in. This allows this team space to play at the highest competitive caliber available and not have that threat of, oh my goodness, if I make a mistake, we might lose forever.
Right, I mean, it's less pressure in a way. I mean, this is also a great chance to prove yourself on one of the highest levels of collegiate stages that you have out here, Septilence. And, you know, all of these players are looking to make a name and work that out here. With only a minute remaining and with how neutral, how back and forth these guys have been, I mean, this is almost looking like we're going to go 0-0 into an overtime unless somebody decides to strike. We might, at the rate we're going at, Septilence.
I mean, that would be an amazing way to kick things off. And I'm hoping that that is what we're going to be seeing because it's those overtimes where we really get to see those individualistic plays. We can tell from the play styles we're experiencing right now that both these teams are very synergy-centric. They're very intentionally playing off passes and playing off bumps. Very communication-heavy teams. But when you go into overtime, you don't really get to communicate anymore. It is a very off-the-cuff, spur-of-the-moment performance, and both these teams really want to show off, and maybe not just show off, but to show up as well, and to be that successful team that they're looking for. But with 10 seconds left on the clock, Maryville is looking for a goal. Stealth puts it up, Calyx on the boot, and ISU still finding a very strong defense against Maryville.
Maryville still managing to hold on to it despite all of the chaos that went on. Thought we'd see a Septilence. Here we are. Game 1, overtime, scoreless for both teams. Like you said, this is where things start to get frantic. You need to make sure that you are still in this game. You can't be driving around like a chicken without a head. Maintain those communications as much as possible because it's these small things that are going to become massive in an intense moment of overtime.
This overtime, it could be 10 minutes, it could be 10 seconds. Okay, I guess it's going to be a little more than 10 seconds. We know that already.
A little past that point.
A little past. I'm catching up a little bit. But 30 seconds on the clock, and Redbird brings in a large opportunity toward goal, blocked away by Maryville, and now Calyx, finding that center field approach, might be able to sneak in a goal. CG, a stealth strike in, gets the ball away, disrupts momentum for the side of ISU, and now it's up to Maryville to not just take it high, but to take it in. ISU bunks it down out of center field toward the Maryville goal, and still nobody falls in quite enough. Nobody falls into that line of sight quite yet, and the goal still 0-0, a full minute into this overtime.
6 minutes into the game, nobody able to get one into the back of the net just yet, and no one is willing to falter. It's going to come down to a game of endurance is what we're testing right now.
Undoubtedly.
This could easily go to another 5 minutes if it's so wished, and it's whichever team is able to hold on. I mean, these 5 minutes, while they may seem short, when you're playing at this high level of competition, Septilence, they're so long, they drain all of that energy out of you. These rounds need to be short so you have a chance to reset, and the longer these goes on, the more opportunity there are for you to start losing your grasp on what is happening around you. And, you know, these passing plays that these teams are relying so heavily on, yes, they're working out now, but that could easily change as time continues.
I think you bring up a phenomenal point here, is that this game is truly about longevity. It is about survivability and not burning yourself out too early. If you run the sprint instead of the mile, you win game 1. That's great. What about games 4 and 5?
Yeah, exactly.
If you go deep enough in, you've got no momentum, you've got no gas in the tank, pun fully intended. It can definitely cost you moving into those later games. And on the bright side is that both teams have to do it, right? It's not anybody gets an advantage off of this. Both these teams have to full commit into their own really kind of backlines, into their own reserves of energy in just a desperate attempt to find a win. and they can't even squeak one in on the side of Maryville. Stealth tries once again. It's going to be a misconnect. Knight is not able to catch it center field. Calyx off the crossbar. Disruption from No Mansion once again, and close but no cigar. Close only going to count in horseshoes and hand grenades and none of that in a game like Rocket League. Calyx clean down center field. No one there to catch it, and an easy defensive block for ISU once again.
I mean, they're making this look easy with everything that is going on. It's like clockwork that they're rolling out. I mean, the defense has been absolutely insane on both sides, and the fact that they're just fighting toe-to-toe for the ball control right now, it just says so much. We're about to hit 3 extra minutes, an 8-minute game to start off this series. And I mean, again, game 1. You still have at least 2 more rounds after this, assuming somebody puts us in. We could be here for all night, for all we know.
I'm pretty sure the Rocket League lobby times out around 99.99, so we can be here for quite a while if the teams choose to do so.
I'm down.
At one point, hey, I've got nowhere else to be tonight. Let me tell you what, I am hanging out as long as these teams are willing to have us. And with an extra 3 minutes on the clock, I'm really excited to be moving into game 2 when the scoreboard kind of gets reset a little bit, because I think this synergy and this kind of overextension is obviously going to hit one of these teams harder than the other. I'm not sure which team that's going to be, but not everybody can play to this constant extended caliber of what is now 8.5 minutes of full throttle gameplay. Somebody's going to get tired, Tiny, and I wonder if that's really going to hurt these teams down the line. Stealth, a great setup center field. Double tap falls through. Calyx takes it off, and he finally puts it away. Calyx finds that first goal on the board. It ends our misery in a 3-minute and 48-second overtime. Maryville taking down Redburn in what is only the first game of the night, and my only game behind the desk, folks. I'm going to hand it off to my good friend and co-caster, Catinator, and I will be back after the end of this series.
Thank you, Septulence. I love that guy. Man, Tiny, do I love that guy.
Oh, absolutely wonderful.
You know I love more than Septulence, though? The powerhouse that is Maryville University. I mean, this team used to be so dominant at just Overwatch, just League. We said, well, you know, I mean, that's great. They're good at those esports, but we've got other programs like the Northwoods who have everything, who dominate everything. Maryville is here to be that team this year, you can tell.
Yep. Maryville also bringing in some new players to the roster, most notably No Mansion coming in for the team as a freshman and has some crazy potential to be able to work with. And Septulence and I touched on it a little bit earlier, how both of these rosters are looking to continue to grow, to build for the future. And I mean, right now, I have been blown away with the level of skill that we had. We just witnessed a nearly 9-minute game 1 where ISU, they faltered at the tail end, and Maryville found that momentum to get it in the first 6 seconds.
Oh yeah, baby, it's time to have some fun. We always say the first game of the series is just feeling it out. And we felt that for a little bit longer than I'd say maybe some of the audience would have liked to, but now that you can tell, Maryville's got that momentum cooking, starting to get things moving. You mentioned it, 6 seconds is all it took here in game number 2, or Tiny, should we say game number 3?
It honestly is game 3 at this point. This is going to be a long, long series. Even if it's a best of 5 now, it's going to feel like a best of 7 if we keep going to the lengths that we have so far. And, you know, Maryville getting that first point on the board. ISU remaining scoreless, and that's something that they're going to want to start changing. And that last overtime goal, getting scored on in that fashion, never feels good at all. ISU needs to showcase how well they're going to be able to regroup to push for game 2.
Yeah, without a doubt. Off that backboard early, and it's a light little touch from Stealth. All it took to bring that ball into the net, just the lower side, is all they needed. Maryville up by 2. Not even a minute played.
No, that's it. That's it. Maryville finally got that little tap in for the OT, and it's like the floodgates have opened. Everybody is just covered in blue, and ISU, they're starting to fumble when it comes to this defense, where they looked incredibly strong previously, and it's just these things that you start to figure out in the mental that you need to recover from these mistakes and move on for them. It is not over just yet. Still plenty for Rocket League to be played.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it comes through, just as you mentioned, we talk about how long that first game was. We look at little mistakes slowly becoming bigger. It's that initial tear into what becomes a gaping hole in the defense. You see these little double commits coming in. You see issues at the top of the goal box, and that leaves Maryville the opportunity to find passing attempts, as we saw off the backboard, to get them their second goal. So you've got to be really careful if you're ISU to handle the ball effectively on defense. You can actually get something cooking in their offense, and I think early in game number 2, they have not been able to do that.
No, they have not found that switch just yet. I mean, ISU were incredible with the passing plays they were able to commit in game number 1, and that small falter has thrown them off of their rhythm, and they want to start recovering for it. They've been playing defense the majority of this second round, and these big booming clears, while it gets the ball away from them, they're having difficulty maintaining control, but a nice pass to the center off target. We're getting right back into the good ideas here.
Yeah, absolutely. The attempt, not where you want it to finish, but definitely an attempt nonetheless. And you want to see more of that if you are an ISU fan. But right now, it's Maryville right back the other direction. That one gets cleared early, the goal box, but just to the corner. There's still some room to play with this if they can rotate in time. Can't quite clear forward. Redirect broken up quickly by Maryville. This will go back to the backboard for ISU. Shots on. Very awkward double commit leads to a bump to the own teammate. That's killed the drive.
It's just those things like that. Sometimes the people that get into the way are the ones that are supposed to help you. And in that situation where you need to peel back, it is okay. As long as you have the recovery in place, you're able to reset, identify when that error is, put a Band-Aid on it, and move on, go next.
Absolutely, and you see ISU yet again. That's a good look. The infield passes are slowly reappearing, reemerging. Shot on, that one saved, but the shots are coming. It's a matter of time.
And it really is. You can only put so many of these in where Maryville are corralled in their own back half. Not a whole lot of boost to work with, so these high top corner shots are going to be the way to go, and Maryville are denying every opportunity they can, not even allowing the ball to get to the center. They know how dangerous it is. It's going to be Calix to clear it away. And just like that, we're back to the orange end. Calix looking to be the hero, but doesn't get that double tap off.
ISU yet again back on the offense, a chance for it. This one comes down to the 50, won cleanly by Knight. No boost. Can they make something happen? A flick towards, yeah, not much you can do with that one without boosting the tank, but it's a good look nonetheless.
It's not bad at all. I mean, these teams, again, are incredibly talented with what they do, and with these 90 seconds remaining, Maryville still being at that 2-0 lead, they're getting more and more comfortable with the game that they are. They don't need to take these incredibly large risks on the offense and just focus on keeping ISU on the back end. The more that you're keeping them choked out in the defense, there's no opportunity for them to score.
That's a fantastic point. Maryville more than willing to play just this one-player offense for the moment being. Just take 50s, force the ball onto their offensive end. This is the first time we'll see them actually get a pass opportunity on. Got to reel back quickly, though. This one will go deep. Easy clear from Knight. That one might get over the last defender. Not quite. Scrum in midfield. That'll slow the ball. That'll kill time. Shot on, though. Nice. Very nice save.
Save to come up, and Alex not done just yet. There's been a saving grace in the back of the net here. And like a lot of these shots,
Second
they are
poster.
really good here, Catinator. They have not been hitting the mark that you want, just either off the crossbar or the goalposts. And I mean, ISU, they have the right idea, just can't get the finish. Yeah,
it's so tough for ISU. We talked about the fact they managed to break out the shell, but both very good opportunities have come off of the goalposts. Both of them. That shot just a little high. That's the crossbar for Maryville. They'll look to rotate this one back. Stealth gets beat. Chance in midfield. A hard angle, but enough for No Mason to put it in. There's time.
Yeah. Hey, it ain't over till it's over at all. 12 seconds, plenty of time. Maryville did it in half of that. ISU still have some options to be able to work with, but this kickoff really needs to go in their favor right now.
This kickoff essential. Might be the chance at the pinch here. Anything cheeky you can pull out, you want it. No Mansion, just the last goal scorer, has got it to the wall. Into Sis' hands, over it to the teammate, and that's more than enough time. It takes 7. They've got it tied up.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful, ISU. We knew you could do it, and look at that. You pulled it off. 5 more seconds on the clock. Hey, still possible for somebody to score. Not going to rule that out yet, but, I mean, these teams, as close as they have been, neither of them are going to want a kickoff goal to go against them, especially with the point that they're at. Because these final couple of seconds, this last volley, it's going to go up to the air, determining if we go to another overtime.
High ball here. Stealth has it on to the teammate. Defender there just in time. It'll be overtime here in game number 2.
We're certainly loving our overtimes today. I mean, we want to see how long can we make a best of 5 last. Like, we are pushing the limits here. It sets some sort of record, I'm telling you. And look at that, the shot coming in from Maryville. Yep, that one's going to end pretty darn quick. They applied the pressure. Knight, quick one after the kickoff. And I mean, Maryville, they're going to be up 2-0.
It's symbolic, really. ISU had 12 seconds to get us into the overtime. It took 12 to send us out of it.
It only makes sense. You got to equal it out at the very end. And I mean, Maryville, think about it, the same 6 seconds that they took to get themselves in that initial lead. Knight also the one to score that first goal. So beginning and ending it, Knight is the king. But right now, 2-0 for Maryville. ISU have been putting on a really good show. Even if they're down, don't have anything on the board necessarily, it does not mean that they're out of it at all.
No, absolutely not. I mean, we saw the quick recovery that came through after it was a very long game number 1 for that team. Managed to come back in game number 2 after a 2-0 deficit. Got that cheeky goal towards the end of the game to get things evened up so they could obviously handle themselves under pressure. Just a matter of being a bit more consistent. And it's do or die time now, so the pressure's really on.
It is up, and I mean, ISU coming back from a reverse sweep now is what you're looking at. I mean, this has been a long match to begin with, and you got to pull everything out that you have left in the tank in this third game and maybe push it on to 2 more, but you need to keep your eyes on the prize. Start small with game number 3, and fireworks sure going off today.
Awkward clear. Handled very nicely, though, from the defenseman. Back in front. That's Calix yet again. Being big on these saves here. If it's been last second on the goalpost, it's been Calix for Maryville.
Calix has been on top of it. I mean, easily one of the stronger defenders that are in collegiate right now. And I mean, it's just looked absolutely insane for Maryville today. I mean, ISU, when the shots have been on target, they are not easy to get to. Calix has been the player to go ahead and do that and keeping Maryville on top for this 2-0 lead.
Seen some more infield work from ISU there. That one almost a 3-man play. They're getting some space, creating opportunities. This one's going deep back wall. Will get touched. Comes back in a good spot, though, if they can find it. Can't quite. Something there for ISU just yet. Great double touch for Scythe off the wall. Try to keep that play alive. We'll get it to the teammate. The chance at this one. Clear just ever so slightly. That'll reset the play.
Full-on reset, and it's Maryville's time to strike, but it's a strong hit down to the corner. You kind of gave up that control rather quickly, and now that's going to be the opportunity. You need to get back out of your own defensive end after that clear ended up coming through and getting stuffed up in the corner. This defender of Calix has been just walking it down. You need to get the slow dribble, not allowing ISU to take the control.
Almost bumped the defender back into a second 50. That one comes down early. Cheap pinch and stealth there with the Shadow D to send that one back away. Calix down the pitch. CG is home for it. That one's going straight back to the back corner. Good 51. Over the top of the net. Shot on. Not quite found, though. Scythe will get up in time. Will push the ball over the crossbar.
Getting themselves out of trouble. These drives starting to look more and more consistent as it goes, but ISU left the door open. Knight walks it right through for Maryville once again, getting on the board.
That's great college from Maryville to make that really awkward for the lone defender there. No choice. Has to wait for the first touch, and Calix decides not to touch it. Gives an opportunity for his teammate to then take it over instead. The angle is more than enough to trip up the defender. Good stuff there, recognizing they had the 2v1 situation and using it to their advantage.
Yep, all the numbers game that Maryville saw, ISU were scrambling. They were going out to the corners, grabbing the boost and left it wide open. And whoo, they almost had an opportunity themselves. Calix wins the race to the ball, though. Able to get Maryville out of a sticky situation. ISU thankfully committing at least one person to stay on back, and the shots relentless from Maryville. They know that they have the lead. They want to get that extra insurance goal to push them through. There's only about 2 minutes remaining on the clock. ISU, if they want to keep their hopes alive, it's time to start something now.
Yeah, time to start something now and time to get out of your own zone. Maryville doing a fantastic job of forcing this team to play consistently off to the post and rotation, which is, as you mentioned, forcing them to have to dive deep for boost here. Means that when they do finally get clears, there's just no opportunity. And you see that continuation here. It's domination of midfield by Maryville, so they'll continue to push this ball down.
Maryville have been easily in control of the tempo of this game so far. They're connecting these passes. They're not allowing ISU to even touch it. It's like they're almost playing keep away at this point. ISU, even if they're trying to take these 50s, they've been losing a lot of them, and it's been a major problem. They're forced to play so much defense that they don't even have the opportunity to take these shots.
I see these 3 defenders locked in what is almost jail. Stuck in the back of the goal box here. All 3 trying to do their best to get this ball back away. That's a 50. They won't get one. A flip from the Maryville strikers will make this one awkward. Stealth gets a touch back. Is anyone home for the call? It's Sith instead. ISU will manage to hold up the defensive front, but a minute to play and a goal needed.
minute, plenty of time to work with. We've seen it in 6, we've seen it in 12, plenty. But ISU need to actually keep control. It's a top flip, but the defense from MU has been stellar this round. And just like that, it's going to be stealth. Trying to get the clear again. I mean, ISU, you need to start taking more risks, but it is your entire series on the line.
Absolutely. I mean, reading the shot is hard, reading the pass is harder, and it's done perfectly there in the back of the goal box. A fantastic infield pass coming off the ceiling, and it just isn't enough regardless. Stealth going to push this one away into the last 20. You mentioned it. We've seen it before, but it's got to come out here if we want to keep this one cooking. In front of the net is No Mansion, and yet again, the savior for this team.
Wow, I mean, No Mansion strikes when it is the most important time. He is able to show up for the Redbirds and make this series even, continuing their chances of moving on forwards. But again, 17 seconds still, a lot to deal with. And I mean, if this manages to stay, we end up going to the overtime again. And ISU, they've struggled to convert in these final couple of seconds. And you need to start turning that around here. One last dribble, one last play. Stealth with the one in control. Didn't have quite the follow-up they were looking for. Last drive to start coming through. It's off the top, in the back, and an ISU getting the final shot. If they don't go to overtime, CECC can make sure they get the win.
That's fantastic work off the ceiling. The double touch is all it takes. Catches the defender in the left corner and sends it just below the crossbar. Illinois State managed to find themselves a game. 2-1 in the series. Maryville still to hold the difference. But hey, there's life of brewing on that orange side.
They snuck it away. They snuck it away in that final minute. And, you know, a lot of these teams, you see that clock start to sit down and you're like, okay, no more monkey business. We really need to focus in. It's like a beast awakens in each one of these players. Like, all right, it's now or never. We have to do something. That extra desperation either is going to be your downfall or what gets you back on the board, keeps you in the series. ISU still alive, have a lifeline to work with for game 4.
Let's see if they can now charter that momentum into open water and get something cooking early here. Maryville constantly been one to put the pressure on. Illinois State can change that story. Calix and Stealth in early. That one's broken up quickly by who other than that final goal scorer of Sife. Hit early by Knight. That's a demo. That'll take a defender out the picture. They gotta get it back to midfield. They do so now. Stealth off the back wall. Double touch on its way. That one's off the post. Another look from Calix. And that one finds the crossbar. Knight with one more opportunity, and it's just not enough. It's halfway across the goal line. It can't clear the threshold, and CG has a late save.
Wow, I mean, Maryville, they've looked the best in this first minute, whereas ISU, that last minute has been their best friend in these past couple of games, and managing to survive that barrage of punches coming in from MU. I mean, ISU, several of those should have gone in if they were not as good as they are, but the bump onto Calix is going to keep them in fair game, but they're yet to escape the orange end.
Another look coming forward off the back wall. That one broken up as well. ISU buckling down on their end of the pitch, and now they'll play it forward. Scythe, a beautiful pass, and that one easy as pie. ISU lead.
Yep, No Mansion, go ahead, take that opportunity. For the first time, they will have the lead in this series, and that is a great start for them. That last win, it gave them that momentum. Suddenly, that snowball effect has flipped around. It's in their favor, and Maryville are the ones that have to recover to prevent this from going further.
Awkward second touch from Calix, couldn't quite find it. That's going to give ISU an open door. We know they've been quick to pounce on it towards the latter half of this series. 50's not going to go their way here. No Manson, the last goal scorer, a quick recovery from them. Just a chance in midfield, no one quite on it. Stealth will play it forward. Looked for the flip reset, couldn't quite get steady contact.
Struggling to get more of this contact in. The passes starting to be a little bit messier as the series continues to progress. And like I said, these games, they've been long. We've played multiple, but No Mansion has truly come alive in this latter half.
No Mansion just took my man to Topgolf. He teed him up and line drived it straight into the left side of the net. That is a tough one-on-one for that defender in the goal box, and one they did not win.
No Mansion, the rookie for the Redbirds squad, has been coming in and slowly beginning to improve and be the star that this team scouted. Like, I am so glad that No Mansion has found a good home with the Redbirds, and only being his first season after all. He has plenty of room to go. And if this is what he is starting with as well, I mean, how much better can you truly get to keep ISU up?
That's the question. Zip cut off very early. Sent so far back, he's in midfield now. Gives MU a chance with this one. Still quick rotations from this orange side. A big bump, and Calix there in time to fill the gap. He'll push it back down the pitch now. Caught in midfield, though. That's another big demo. No one home, no choice. MU recognized no one even moving to try to get to that ball. It's 3-0.
And you look at the boost here, it was all starting to get low, and Calix literally just frozen on the other side. MU, they are falling deeper and deeper into the hole. ISU have started to find their rhythm, and they're not letting it go at all. No mention with the opportunity on the kickoff as well. I mean, ISU, they're feeling good game 4.
They're feeling fantastic. Starting to bully the other squad a little bit. The demo game started getting worked in, and it's trouble of brewing. Calix will spawn deep right side post, can't get there in time, and ISU yet again will score off the demo.
Wow. I mean, if you're Maryville right now, what do you need to do? What do you need to do to start regrouping? I mean, you have 2 minutes left in this game to score 4 goals if you want to try to take it. I mean, at this point, do you even just try to go for a game 5, to go for that mental reset? Because there's been a lot of opportunities here. ISU have been taking advantage of some key demolitions. They're really playing that aggressive game to their advantage, and it's working out.
Yeah, absolutely. Just suffocating this team. We saw them really let Maryville do what they want in the defensive half. This time, they're pushing forward, suffocating, not letting their heads out of the water. As ISU going to grab a 5th goal. Ship it on up.
Wow.
It's easy. If it wasn't right there, it would have been the pass down as well with that 2v1 scenario.
I mean, ISU, the fact that they had multiple ways that they could have scored that, I mean, Maryville University, dare I say, they're almost boomed for game number 4 right now. They lost all of that momentum. You're up 2-0. You start to get confident. You lose it at the last second, and suddenly you're down 5-0. This is exactly what I was saying that ISU did not want to do. They did it. Here they are. They came back, but Maryville University finding themselves at the disadvantage, the exact same thing. They're struggling to get back in the game, and with 90 seconds remaining, and you really just need to keep your heads on.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, now just the goal for the confidence would be nice. A couple saves, maybe perhaps in the other direction. I mean, we can't blame this team too much. They were so far forward on the offensive for so long in this series. They never really had to play any defense. Now that ISU has started to change up the tempo and the play style, they just got to sort it back out. But you mentioned, yeah, this one definitely not looking like it'll get brought back, but any momentum you can grab would be nice. And it's got to be a playstyle adjustment for game 5 as the 6 is now in the net.
Jeez. I mean, what is that? Is that 3 for CG just in this game alone? And Maryville, something, just anything at this point to keep yourselves alive for game 5, because that is going to be a tough one to go through after this series. I mean, the coach definitely going to have some words for their team going forward. And it's not even that they're necessarily playing terribly, but, I mean, ISU has certainly gotten their heads and is making them fight.
Yeah, we're slowly getting to that point. Not in the series, but maybe at least in this game number 4. A squad that, you put it perfectly, just looks boomed. Looked for the flip reset there from Calix. That one didn't come through. You can tell based off that. Yeah, this one's chalked. We'll move it forward. It's in midfield, and we'll kill an extra 20 seconds. CG got his flip back, couldn't quite use it. Too much momentum in the front.
I mean, even the demolitions that are coming in here from ISU, they've adapted their play style, like you said. And I mean, Catnator moving forwards, this is something that ISU easily gonna play well into, is just using this aggression. They finally have room to play this offense that they are so good at. Maryville University gave them the opportunity to start developing that, and they're the ones that are struggling to change their own play style because they've been so forward focused. The adjustment just hasn't been there, and now you have one final chance, game number 5, to show up.
Yeah, I mean, you talked about the fact that we saw this ISU team be able to hold steady on the defensive for long enough to get the ball cleared. But after those booms, after the dumps, there's no chase. No one looking for the ball. No confidence in the fact that they could recover it against Maryville, which led to just shot after shot, right? And we know if you throw enough rocks at the brick wall, eventually it's going to break apart. And the fact that this team has finally started chasing their clears has led them to 6 goals in game number 4. And if they keep that tempo up, who knows what happens. Up to Maryville to get a little more prominent in their own defensive game.
Hey, you know, they've been very strong in this opening game. Anytime that they've gotten that lead early, they've managed to hold on to it for quite a while, and they need to find something here. This is your full reset that you got. The scoreboard is even, but the shots raining true for ISU.
Like the call from CG there, was thinking about committing back to the ball, gave it away with the crossbar, just reset with the rest of the team. That's a cheeky demo that gets snuck out there. Might create opportunity after this clear comes through. Knight gonna break it up midfield though. That'll stall for time. It's early scrums here for the first minute. A look for No Mansion. Defender couldn't quite get the bumper there in time. The freshman on the board first.
Well, look at the placement of this team. And No Mansion is playing in no man's world in the heights. And I mean, Stealth went for the ball. The final touch didn't come through as predicted. I mean, No Mansion already talked about him so much. He's just an insane young superstar that has so much to offer to ISU, scoring first for the third game in a row. And I mean, this guy looking absolutely insane. And if this is the way that this continues, ISU, it's smooth sailing.
Yeah, most certainly could be. So I thought the ceiling gonna slow that one down, trying to get it to the teammate. Gets it there, too much defensive presence, so another shot on will do the trick. Calix gonna be back with that one. Low in the goal box enough to send it away, and these slow rolling touches from ISU trying to make some space here. Really trying to stuff down the MU defense, who have held strong through those last 3 shot attempts.
They've held strong, but they haven't really been able to get consistent ball control outside of their end, and it's been a problem when you don't even have an opportunity to get these touches or confirm these passes. And I mean, ISU, they're the ones in control of the tempo. They have been as soon as the second half of the series have started. And Railville University, I mean, even like this, they're trying to get these long booming clears, but because nobody is able to receive them at all, they simply don't have any follow-up.
The alternative issue as well is that as we fight in the mid-pitch here after that Maryville boom, it's a typical double commit. That first goal for No Mansion came off with double commit. Had the space to work it, and that one is pure mechanics.
Yep.
Got the reset, delayed the flip, and just does a better job. He's just better.
No Mansion broke some ankles. That's what we just saw. No Mansion broke some ankles, snapped him in half, and sunk it to the back of the net. I mean, mechanical diff right there to put it past 2 of the best players and follow it up here with an early shot off of another kickoff. I mean, Maryville University, half the game left on the clock, a little bit more than that even, to start making this happen, start to get some of these passing plays happen in the orange half, which Calix, or nice attempt in the front, but players surrounding the goal. ISU not willing to give up the lead.
Off the back corner here, it'll be slowed down from ISU. Wanted to make sure they get a good offensive opportunity back the other way. Calix good control off the back wall, was looking for stealth there. Knight came around. That one's broken up quickly. No Mansion, another 1v1. I'm nervous.
Woo!
Stealth has it in time.
I mean, we just saw No Mansion win a 2v1, 1v1s. Woo-hoo-hoo! That's scary. That is scary to take up against this player. And the fact that it isn't just No Mansion on this team, you have Sith as well as CG to back this guy up. And I mean, Maryville, they're playing so defensive. They're having to commit 2 players basically to goal jail just to try to keep them out of their net, prevent this lead from going further. And even the shots they do take, the bumps from ISU, the aggressive hitting the other players out of the way has been their go-to, and it's kept them in the lead.
Stealth a quick turn back onto the ball. Tried to get that one into the middle of the goal box. Couldn't quite do so. Knight has it there. The Calix, who has pressure in the top of the net. A shot for Stealth. That one, not quite sure he went it off the back corner. Looked to recuperate with a double touch. Couldn't quite find the second touch of it, though. That'll end the story on that drive. 1:30 left to play. 2 goals needed for MU. The pressure's got to come on, and Stealth will win a 50 to get them a chance at the net.
Running low on time that you have, and you need to take every chance that you're given. Make it work. It's the battle in the corner, which you thought would be won, and it's No Mansion back in control. The 1v1 doesn't get the follow-up, and you have to deny that last tap coming in. So Maryville, well, they get the clear. Stealth looking to set it up in the center, but the defense is absolutely insane from ISU. And I mean, as good as they've looked on the offense, their defensive game has 100% stepped up here.
Without a doubt.
Ooh.
And the offense is back to shine. As we speak of it, it's 3-0 for ISU. They'll push it forward, and it comes off of, as you mentioned, that solid defensive game and the ability to recognize when the clears should come through. They're slowing the tempo down good enough defensively to be able to find clears when everyone's got boost, when everyone's situated, when they know they'll be able to get additional shot attempts on and really push that ball through. Every offensive opportunity has been well thought out and well structured, and it's led them to what is this dominant lead now and the chance at the reverse sweep.
It's honestly almost there. Maryville University, I mean, with 30 seconds, sure, it's not impossible, but it's pretty darn hard to make possible, especially with Sid just skirting along this goal line right here. It's more time that ISU's managed to burn. They're getting aggressive. They feel confident about the point where you stand, and this is just about it here. This 10-second timer remaining, Catinator. ISU looking strong to finish this one out.
If Sith had hit Supersonic going into the defender there, that would have been a demo, and that would have been goal number 4. The pressure never let off. The gas pedal never stepped off, and ISU just rocketed themselves into a reverse sweep. That's the first seed.
Wow. I mean, just wow from Illinois State. They came into this, and we didn't have the highest expectations for them. Maryville University has been a very strong school when it has come to Rocket League for the past many years. Illinois State, this is their fresh start. This is their brand new roster that they're trying to pull out. They had the forfeit against Northwood Blue to get themselves to the finals today, and they reverse swept. They surpassed those expectations, guaranteeing themselves that first seed.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about the mental prowess. You're going up against a school that has been so well renowned for so many years, has won so many countless national championships. That pressure's on your shoulders. You're down 2 games, that pressure's on your shoulders, and you're constantly sitting there taking shot after shot defensively, hoping, praying you can just have one clear, one shot at the net, then to turn things around and find yourself with 6 goals in game number 5 and a 3-0 advantage to close out that final game. I mean, it is ridiculous the way this team has made the adjustment, the way they came back. Just as we on the desk will bring Seth back on to talk through that one.
What, with this guy? You talking about this guy? Oh my god. Okay, first of all, what a series. Holy cow. I mean, I fully go into that. Maryville wins game 1. It's like a 7-minute overtime or whatever happened. I'm like, okay, we're done. Maryville's going to cook ISU. We're good. Whatever. Game over. ISU fully denied my expectations there. They did a great job, and I do want to talk about that a little bit to hear a bit more from you guys. Is just looking into that series, what do you guys think it was that kind of allowed that sneak in victory? You gave a couple of ideas here and there, but the first thing I said was, they need to prove themselves. ISU Redbird is desperate for a win right now, and they find one in a phenomenal reverse sweep. So, Kat, we can start with you, man. What was it that gave it away? Was it just no mention deadlifting, or was there more behind the scenes that we didn't get the chance to see?
I think really throughout that series, the team just got confident, and they also just got the ability to push forward. You know what I mean? Like, you mentioned the fact that this team needed to prove themselves. So they came into this one, the mental a bit lower than normal. I don't think we can win this, guys. I'm not going to lie to you. A couple close games says, okay, wait, maybe we can. And then we finally see them chase their own clears and start to work the offense. It almost looked like mentally they opened up the box and, hey, good to go.
Yeah, and Tiny, you and I shared that first game, and we were incredibly critical about how long that overtime was. And we talked about how that could have kind of a detriment towards a team. They could kind of burn out of their fuel early and not have that energy to move forward. Do we think we saw that with Maryville, or do you think we saw the inverse with Redbird, where instead of being on the field for too long, tired them out, it gave them the rust break they needed? It kind of got the gears flowing for the team. Do you think that extended overtime has anything to do with this reverse sweep victory?
Honestly, I think it does, because ISU, they had a slow start. They were struggling to convert on these plays that they were attempting to make, and as the series continued to draw on, they got more and more explosive. Players like No Mansion, CG, Sith, all of them started to show up more and more, and I mean, they're coming into this. The desperation, I don't think that we can really ignore that. Maryville is like one of the schools that you want to take down in this series. The fact that ISU were able to do it in Game 5 as well, I can only imagine what that really feels like for these players, and it's coming into it with perhaps not the best mental game either. To make this amount of comeback where not too many people expected it for them, I believe that there was a strong fact that they just wanted to prove the doubters wrong, and I can tell you right now, they certainly did.
Yeah, without a doubt. I think I'm going to speak for all three of us here. I know at least Kat agrees with me, but Tiny, I'd love to get your take on this. I think the MVP, I mean, no mansion, just cleaning house, a beautiful performance. And brother, if you keep playing like that, a mansion is in your future because holy cow, playing at the highest peak of performance through and through. 6 goals, 7 saves, 2 assists, and an average score of 430. A very talented all-rounder.
Yeah, I mean, this guy has come in. Again, freshman, 18 years old.
Yeah,
just
let alone
started school.
a freshman.
Freshman people. And I can tell you, I'm a freshman myself. I've been walking around looking like an absolute lost person in this school, and I'm like, I don't know where I am half the time. I don't know what's going on. The fact that you can come down just even a month into your semester and be able to put on this kind of performance. Again, first month that this guy has been on the team, has so much more time to continue to develop and to push that ceiling even higher than he already has.
And Tiny, I think you highlight such a good point as well. Not only is he a freshman, he's been going to ISU for a month. He just got here, and this is the performance he's bringing to the table. I mean, Kat, what is it that sets No Mansion apart? Is it his ability to be that all-rounder, to be that demon on the field? What is this kid drinking? Like, what is going on? What is in the water for him?
We didn't even have to show the stats. We could have just rolled the clip of No Mansion 2v1 delayed flip reset. That could have been it. That's your answer. That's what he is. He's different. He's certified. Eats the Wheaties every morning. He's just good.
Yeah, he's good, he's great. And I will ask you two one more question, and we'll let you guys hit the road, but I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. We break out a Rocket League here in the Midwest. We've got ISU as the current #1 seed for the upcoming qualifier later down the line. But outside of the Midwest, any other region, what teams do you guys think we're going to be seeing at this caliber of Maryville, of ISU? What school or just collegiate programs are stunting the way ISU did tonight?
This is a tricky question.
It's a tough one, especially for Rocket League, because there is talent
everywhere.
Yeah. This is a gross question, is all I want to say, because if I don't mention anybody...
favorites live on stream right now.
If I don't mention anybody... What do you mean? You want to say I'm gonna say give you one, and I'll give you this one because, Seth, I know that this will play into you, all right?
Ooh.
I think we see Akron sneak around.
Oh, my man knows his audience. My man knows his audience. Let me tell you, for those that don't know, I grew up about 30 minutes away from Akron. So I'm I love the program. I love to see them succeed. And Kat, you're not wrong, man. I mean, statistically and consistently one of the top Rocket League teams in the country. I mean, year after year, one of few teams that has always been at the top. We've seen a lot of teams go up and fall down or never really get to the top. But Akron, they've been up there since day one, and they haven't left. But if it's going to happen, I'll say it, as much as I love Akron, if it's going to happen, I think this might be the year that Akron struggles to hit that top bar, because we are just seeing Rocket League evolving faster, I think, than any other esport right now. In terms of each year, the worst player is as good as the best from the previous year. Like, we're constantly hitting that bar and that growth, and I can't wait to see if Akron can keep up. But Tiny, anything from you in terms of just teams to keep an eye on as we jump into the rest of the CECC season?
I was looking more towards the Eastern region. I've seen a lot of Ole Miss as well as West Virginia come up recently. I got to see them participate in another big tournament. It was previously held about just a couple weeks. Actually, no, was it last weekend? I don't even know. Time flies when you're having fun with Rocket League, I'm telling you. But yeah, Ole Miss and West Virginia are two schools for me that have really stepped into themselves this year. You look around, like, you can't go anywhere without seeing these two teams at the top of power rankings, and for very good reasons. They have such high skill ceilings they're able to work with here, and
absolutely,
yeah, it's just crazy that they're able to take down some of these top schools. Like you said, Rocket League is an esport where players just grow, that they excel at such a fast rate compared to other games. I mean, the growth potential never stops.
It's genuinely never stops. And it's funny because on paper, it's the simplest game. You look at it, you're like, okay, it's just a ball and 6 tiny cars. How hard can it be? Because these players make it look so easy. But this is, without a doubt, the hardest of the core esports that we see, of the ones that we offer here at CECC, Overwatch, Valorant, Smash Ultimate, and Rocket League. Rocket League's the only one I've never played in a competitive setting, and there's plenty of reasons because this game is so stinking hard. But hey, thank you two both so much for hanging out. Thank you for covering those games. And we are super excited to see you guys later as well. So thank you for your hard work tonight.
Thank you.
Oh, you as well, Tiny and Kat. You know, Catnator. I love that guy. But you know what I love more than Catnator, chat? I love the CECC. And I know that we have CECC East Open Qualifier 2023-2024 coming up next weekend. I say weekend. I don't say Sunday because it is next weekend. We're looking at Saturday and I think also Sunday. And guess what? I'm going to be there because I am everywhere. I am infinite. But that is everything we've got going on here tonight. Folks, if you like what you saw of any game we had today, drop a follow on the channel. It really helps just everything go. It helps you keep an eye on what's going on. If you liked any of the casters, if you think the host from today was super handsome and you want to see him more often, you can follow any of us on our social medias. They're underneath us. We all just go by our tags on socials as well, so none of us are hard to find. A huge shout out to everybody in the backline that made this happen. I'm talking about Colton. I'm talking about Cool Scoots. I'm talking about Professor Layton. All this huge team that you guys never see on screen that makes everything you see possible. And of course, thank you to all the teams coming out. We could not do this without them. And finally, thank all of you. Without you guys, we'd be talking to the webcams for an auditorium full of nobodies. So thank you so much for hanging out with us and bearing through and just constantly supporting the CECC. Check your posture, drink some water, don't forget to love each other, and we'll CECC you next weekend.